tonight. Celtics have advanced to the semifinals. You want to talk about the green? Hey, listen, we've been doing it every night. Some of you tell me you don't like it. I bet you all watched last night. Da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Yes. 4 hours tonight. Whatever you would like to speak about. I'm going to start Celtics. There is Patriot stuff out there. Bruins, who's the next coach? I'm going to be asking that for weeks. Every day that I see Kevin Maggiore, I ask him a Bruins question because I'm mounting a Bruins take that has been marinating for a while. Might get into that later on tonight. Bill Belichick stuff out there. All sorts of other stuff. We got in or out. We got musings. We got guests. And we're here all night long at 617-779-0985. I already see people in our chat on YouTube. It's real easy to do, everybody. You can watch the show. What I do is I take the remote and I say YouTube 98.5 The Sports Hub, and then it goes right to here. So you'll see there's people watching right now. I already see Dublin Poppy in there and Carrie Ann in Seattle watching from Seattle. So thank you very much. Sean is talking about the marination already. So you can watch on your phone and chat in if you subscribe. So it's real easy to do that. And I read your chats. Skaz is in there. We got our intern Trent here tonight. It's his last night. So we're going to get him on in the final hour to thank him for his services as well and wish him well on his future endeavors. Joe O'Donnell's in there. Sean, I see you guys all in the chat. And again, the phone number 617-779-0985. I have a musings later. Something happened on the way in that just drove me insane. And you'll just have to wait for that at 9:50 tonight. So, we were here last night. We worked the Celtics game, if you want to call that a game. Woof. What a horrible first half. Horrible. But the Celtics closed it out. It wasn't pretty. 0 threes in the first half for the Celtics. They couldn't rebound. Turnovers once again. Matchups, the ball just was not going through the hoop. Somehow, some way, though, they were only down 2 points at halftime. And Missoula ball happened. I did say this last night, so I want to blat some people, if you may. Joe, you said Missoula ball was going to be back. Blah. Well, they went 13-19 in the second half from 3. Tatum, 35 points in a closeout game. I told you about Jason Tatum in closeout games. So again, please validate the man. Do it. I've used the word validate all week long. In a closeout game, Jason Tatum's been the guy. For all you people who say, yeah, but in the finals last year, it was Jaylen Brown. Just remember, Jason Tatum in closeout games. How about Paulo Banchero? 4th foul, they leave him in the game. Stupid. 5th foul. Worst coaching decision I have seen in a game in years. Season on the line, and you leave him out there for a 5th foul? Idiot. That's bad coaching. Malpractice. And then the floodgates opened. A 3 goes down. Then another 3. Then another 3, and then an up fake, drive to the basket. The floodgates opened. Everything that was holding the Celtics back through 5 games, finally they broke the wall down. They went on a 36-13 run in the third quarter. I'll tell you this much, I don't want to sit here and boast about the performance in the game. I'm not going to do that. I think they should bury that basketball and move on. Stay away from the court today. Take a couple of days off. Find out who the opponent is and start preparing. Get healthy. During the game last night, I started looking at some of the guys. Whether it was Porzingis, whether it was Jaylen Brown, even Derek White for that matter. There was a time where I looked at everyone and said, man, these guys have played a lot of basketball. But let's give the Celtics some credit. They had to find a different way to win. Something that many people have questioned in this town, or even nationally for that matter. And then there's those Celtics people who are just haters. They're just to begin with. Oh, well, they did it against an 8th seed. Technically, it was a 7th seed. Oh, it was a bad opponent. Okay. Just let me know when an opponent is considered good. Because last year, the path was too easy. Like, I would happen to think the Cavs beating Miami was too easy. So, I think the Celtics had a better opponent. And even Joe Mazzulla said the same thing after the game. Everything they learned in this series should benefit them for the rest of the playoffs. Talking about Jason Tatum quickly, and I don't want to leave Jaylen Brown out of it because he was good again. I know he struggled from the line, and he had to get going a little bit. It was Tatum and Brown, but Tatum was the star. Are we seeing the run of Jason Tatum? Are we seeing the run that people thought he'd be on the Tatum revenge tour? People questioned him when he missed a game in the series. People wondered if he did it in spite of Joe Mazzulla. People thought he was soft because Joe told him to get up. I don't know if that's the rallying cry he needed. He severely hurt his wrist. Does it look like it's severely hurt? How about every time he hit a 3, he grabs his wrist? How about when they took a lead and he started grabbing both wrists and sticking his tongue out like Jordan? Are we starting to see the revenge tour from Jason Tatum? He's playing it like with an edge that we have never seen before. There is an edge there. Jason Tatum in games 3 through 5 after missing game 2, 36-9-4, 37-14-3, and then last night 35-8-10. He had 35 or more points in 3 straight playoff games for the first time in his career. They closed out the Magic in 5 games, a gentleman's sweep. Just think about this. If Jason Tatum scored 35, 36, and 37 versus Orlando, who's a good defense, what will they do to the New York Knicks or the Detroit Pistons? Jason Tatum, second Celtic to score 35 points in 3 straight playoff games. The only other person to do it, Larry Bird. Most of you people won't put Tatum in the same category as Bird, and I don't think we should until he wins 3. I mean that. Got to win 3 to be even in the same category as Bird. But are we now seeing the run of Tatum, the revenge tour? I think we're seeing a player playing with edge who makes everyone else better on the court. And last night, when nothing was going down, just before the half, I wanted to highlight a moment. Orlando was very good at stopping the perimeter and defending the perimeter. They were very good at it. But late in that second quarter, they would run right to the perimeter and stop. Tatum would give that kind of basketball twist he does, the crossover, one-handed, kind of up-faked with his head, just blew by defenders and went to the hole. Then you saw Jaylen Brown do it. Then Sam Hauser did it. Something clicked. The Celtics that everyone talks about shoots too many threes, and if they meet an opponent and they don't shoot well, they're going to lose. They found another way to do it, but it was led by Jason Tatum. In the series, when they needed iso ball, they went to Jason Tatum. Tatum's better now than he was last year. And again, Jaylen Brown elevated his game and played with the edge. And finally, when he played to that potential, the Celtics won a championship. We're now seeing Jason Tatum with that edge that Brown had actually raising his game. I didn't think it was possible, but you know what? Think about the offseason. Think about him wanting the MVP. Think about what happened at USA Basketball. Him and Brown, for that matter. The revenge tour is on. You're now seeing the Tatum with an edge. Did he need to get up? Did he need to miss a game? Certainly looks like he's a different guy. But now we're seeing the Tatum revenge tour. And who's next? It's either the Pistons or the New York Knicks, and it will start next Monday. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Who is next? Al Horford had some interesting comments. I wanted to get more into Tatum's night and more of what the Celtics did in the series versus Orlando. They're moving on to the semifinals. They got 5 days to rest. We'll be talking about it, and we'll have all the coverage here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This season was like the most relaxed and carefree that I've been in my career, understanding that we won last year and we accomplished the ultimate goal. And you kind of got that monkey off your back. So, obviously the goal is still the same this year to win and compete for a championship. But, I've just enjoyed this season of, playing carefree basketball and, not having that hang over my head. It's been fun to do. I was just a sense of freedom that I've just carried this season.
Worst game that Jason Tatum's had in this playoff was like a double-double of 17 points where he hurt his wrist. I asked this question before the playoffs started. Can they win a championship if both Brown and Tatum aren't 85% or wherever they are in the injuries that they have? I still think they can. I still think it's Tatum and Brown. I know that it's Tatum in the end who has been the closeout killer. I could give you the numbers if you really want them, but just take my word for it. Now, how about just watch last night's game or remember what he did in the championship closeout game last year or what he did against the 76ers or what he's done against the Pacers and everybody. Because he's done it to everybody. Certainly playing with an edge. Oh, Tatum's soft. Softest player in the league. He's not clutch. Just everything you say is so wrong. Well, the people who say that. Not all of you. This time slot, I got June 22nd blocked off. We're all Celtics here. We'll talk about the Red Sox when they do something well, and, if the Bruins make a move, if the Patriots happen to do anything worthy of talking about, we'll do it. I don't want to boast about the win last night, but I will boast about Jason Tatum in closeout games, and I will boast about the edge that you're seeing from him. It's real. We're watching one of the best players in the league get better. Did you think that could happen? Like some guys get to the mountaintop, they win, they fall back a little bit. Look at Giannis. I mean, Jokic's game gets better and better. His team gets worse, and his team doesn't invest in him. Right? Like, look at all the winners. There's a reason why teams haven't gone back-to-back. Maybe it is the salary tax and apron and all that, but I don't know. How about you draft good players and you build around them? That's exactly what's going on here with the Boston Celtics. But Tatum this postseason, averaging just over 31 points per game, just over 11 rebounds per game, and just over 5 assists per game. Oh, and a steal per game. When he needed to adjust, Tatum finished with 45 isolation points in the first round. 7 more than any other player. Luka Doncic, second in that area. This wasn't a pretty series at all. Tatum had to do multiple things. Beat switches, score in the ISO, hit threes. He did everything he could. Now, for the, they only shoot threes crowd, they can't win unless they shoot threes. The Celtics shot 68 of 85 at the rim during the first round. Guys, Joe Math, 68 of 85? 80%? That's good, right?
I would say good, Joe.
Good.
Good.
So, the best among all the teams in the playoffs right now. How about highest free throw attempt rate? Would you say that's good? Because they were 30th in the regular season. Would you say that's good?
So they've adjusted.
That's where I'm going. They could only win by shooting threes.
Yeah, I hear a lot from people that feel that way. Not a fan of how the Celtics play and shoot so many threes. Did you enjoy this last series? I did. I thought it was, a grind of a series. It was ugly at times, but that's the playoffs. You're not going to shoot. They're not going to shoot 53s, and they might not shoot 53s in a single playoff game. This season. I think they're going to try, especially if they get the Knicks or the Pacers, or especially the Cavaliers. But that's the difference. Is the Celtics showed they could win different ways, and I think that's something that rightfully we weren't sure they could do in years past. And that's the difference. Tatum is more mature. Brown is more mature. I think Missoula has gotten better, and this series was a perfect example of all those things.
The lowest 3-point attempts this year, Game 3, 4, and 5. 31, 27, and last night, 24. And Al Horford said it after the game. We want to shoot 63s when we're out there. Run and gun, play fast. Sometimes you have to get it done in different ways, and I think the Celtics did that in the series. So I won't sit here and tell you it was pretty. And you know what? Is it easy to say that they were just the better team in the series? Because I don't want to leave it to that. I know in the end they had more shooters and talent and all that. I don't think that's why they won those guys. I think they won because they were able to adjust. This was one of the worst teams at getting to the line in the league. And you're right. They adjusted. Who do we give credit to for that? Is it Missoula?
I think Tatum and Missoula. I think Jalen deserves a lot. I thought he was, really good in the second half of that game after, struggling in the first half. I think Porzingis is, you heard him post-game say, I need to be a lot better. He's a guy that I still think, I think the matchups will get easier for him as the playoffs go on. But I would say Tatum, Brown, and Missoula are at the top of that list. Even Al Horford, I thought, was, great in stretches.
He was the guy getting in everyone's face when something was going down. It's kind of like he's the goon. Like he's the guy that doesn't mind getting in someone's face if he thinks it's a hard hit. He's the leader. He's the leader on the team. All right. Well, you guys have heard from us. Let's hear from you. 617-779-0985. We got Mac in L.A. What's up, Mac?
Hey, what's good, Joe? I'm pretty excited for the next series, mostly because I think that Jrue Holiday is kind of a player who goes understated by the media, just in the sense that, like, his impact is so massive. Like, the Celtics had so many just defensive lapses in this series where you could really see how important Jrue Holiday is, how he, sort of allows Derek White to play as more of an off-ball defender, how he opens up the wings for the Jays to defend. His presence alone basically allows the entire defensive machine to run. And I think that a lot of the defensive concerns we saw in this series where Orlando, they're not a good offensive team, but they'd go on these big runs. And I think that if Jrue Holiday is able to come back next series, which I think he should, he's at least expected to. So I think once he comes back, I think we'll really see the team, just go moving on all cylinders, so to speak. And I'm very happy that recently on Twitter and whatnot, Jrue has been getting the respect he deserves, I think. So I'm very, very happy.
Oh, yeah. Listen, there's no doubt about it. Did he have a high plus-minus Jrue Holiday when he was in there?
Yeah, and he mentions the defense there. Obviously, that's part of it with Jrue Holiday, but for me, it's the ball handling and, the lack of turnovers when he's out there. He's just so steady. You never have to worry about that. So, some of these situations where they were turning the ball over because, Brown and Pritchard are handling the ball a little more than usual, that's something that can be avoided when Jrue Holiday's healthy.
Who's got the best defense remaining in the East? Like, who's the team that you'd have to look at and say they're going to lean on their defense?
Well, I think for the Celtics, it would be the Cavs because of the bigs. I think Mobley and Allen are something that could give the Celtics issues on the glass.
Rebounding.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the Knicks have guys. I mean, we've seen what Tatum has done against the Knicks. All these guys. Porzingis goes off against the Knicks. Jalen has had huge games against the Knicks. So the Knicks don't really, defensively. I think offensively the Knicks could hang with the Celtics, but I also don't think they can guard the Celtics at all. So, they were, 0-14 against the top teams in the league this year. So the Knicks don't really do that. The Pacers can run with the Celtics, but I don't think they have the guys to guard them. The Cavs are better equipped, I would say, than the other teams.
What about between New York and Detroit? I think Detroit's the tougher matchup.
Yeah, I just think they're a less skilled version of the Magic to me. They like to muck it up. They have a couple guys that can shoot. Beasley is a very good shooter, but once again, I just don't think they have the overall talent to hang with the Celtics.
I agree with you. Can they win at home? They got to prove it. When's the next game? Tomorrow? 2-point favorites at home. I already said I think it's Detroit that's going to win, but the New York-Boston matchup for me, I feel bad for Knicks fans.
We're going to have a live reaction with a Knicks fan tomorrow night during that game.
That's right.
It should be interesting.
That should be very right. I did want to say this before we take more calls. The Celtics have ruined a lot of teams. Like, I say tap out. They ruined Brooklyn when they beat them a couple of years ago. The 76ers are done. Sorry, Trent.
Miami. See ya.
The Miami Heat.
See you later. Bam with some interesting comments today. I don't know if you saw those.
I did not. We'll get into those in a bit.
Couple shots at Pat Riley.
How about the Mavericks?
Yeah, I would say that didn't go well for them post Celtics.
How about the Bucks?
Yeah, not a lot of good going on in Milwaukee.
Wasn't this what the Patriots used to do to teams? Once they would beat them, you'd never hear from the team ever again.
I don't think that'll be the case with the Magic. I think this Magic team they're going to hang around for a couple of years. They need shooters for sure.
They need to get the best shooter in the draft and get whoever they can.
Don't give KCP $70 million would be my piece of advice for the Magic, but it's a little late for that one.
Just give a pickup and get rid of him. That guy sucks. Trash. They drafted a guy. That guy, was it Anthony Black? What's his name? Is that Anthony Black? That guy, top 5 pick, out. Sorry. Trade him too. We'll get into Giannis and all that coming up in a little bit here. Let's talk to Chris. He's in the car. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Joe. I just got to say, right, so now I agree with you 100%. What we have seen from Tatum this postseason has been excellent. He's been gritty. He's been tough. He's been all the things that everybody, including myself, have been saying that he hasn't been. But the thing is, you've got to remember, it's not that we're wrong. Some people take it a little bit far, but I'll let you borrow my time machine. You can go back and check. He was soft. He wasn't tough. He didn't come through in the clutch a lot of times. So I'm kudos to him that he's doing it now. You know what I mean?
When was that again? Will you be specific?
Oh, I'm just saying that, he didn't used to come through in the clutch.
Give examples of,
he does
can you
now.
give me an example of when he did not come through in the clutch?
Well, I had a few problems with third quarters in the series that 2 postseasons ago where they lost Golden State. I had some problems with how they played offense and defense in that series.
Okay.
And those series coming up, and there were a couple Philly series that scared me, like halfway through, that I remember the past couple of years.
Okay, was there an example of a time where he was not tough and not clutch, please?
That's all I'm saying.
No, I want your example. You can't say it and not give me an
you
example.
want a specific
I would like
example
you to tell me.
When he didn't make a shot or something like that?
Like, when was he soft? When was he soft?
Do you want me to give you a specific example when he didn't go on the floor or something?
When he dunked on LeBron, was that soft? When he was a rookie?
No, he didn't do it. He wasn't 100% soft. He had his moments. He's a superstar. He always has been, I'm a huge Celtics fan. I have been for years. I used to go to the games with Bird and had season tickets in 08 and like 5 years of the old man. But, he was soft back then. That's all I'm saying. And he's showing us that
I'm disagreeing with you
right now.
I'm disagreeing with you.
Okay, that's fine.
I just need you to give me an example of when. You said the Warriors series.
The third quarter, I just remember, I can't give you an example of a specific shot that he missed or something like that, but like that Warriors series, there was third quarters in that series, third quarter in the series before the Eastern Conference Finals. We play this top of my head. I'm kind of in traffic that week. But I just remember them. There were moments, especially in the third quarters, where they just kind of were like, we got these guys. I don't know. That's what I thought at the time.
All right, Chris. Thank you. Skaz, would you like a rebuttal?
I think people get soft and quiet mixed up. I don't think Jason Tatum has ever been soft. I think he's a quiet guy, and that gets kind of misconstrued at times. He's not boisterous. He's not yelling at the crowd or yelling at opposing players. Like he said post-game last night, he didn't say a single word to Apollo Banchero the entire time. this series, and they're very good friends. And so I would take that as being mentally tough, being locked in. I think those are all good things. Is there times Tatum has come up short? Yeah, absolutely. They lost to the Warriors in the finals.
Yeah, I'm looking at that box.
They weren't ready. They weren't ready that year.
He had 23, 11, and 6 in a loss in Game 4.
Yeah, I do think if you want to say the Warriors, punked the Celtics a little bit in that series, I would absolutely agree with that. But the Celtics were. The problem people have, I think, assessing the Celtics is that they were just so ahead of schedule that, the Celtics have been very good to great for years now, and they finally got over the hump.
Can I give you one? The closeout Game 6 against the Warriors, Tatum played bad.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if that makes you soft, though.
I was trying to when someone gives you like a take, right? I need more layer.
Yeah,
more layers.
They've fallen short multiple times and had seasons where they should have gone further and done more. I don't quantify that as them being soft. They just weren't ready. I don't know if Udoka was ready. The Marcus Smart factor was still there. It was a different roster. So
you had Robert Williams and Grant Williams you were leaning on.
Yeah, and leaning on Grant Williams in the playoffs, that's a tough recipe right there. So the Tatum conversation is very weird, but I do think he gets the respect he deserves. He's viewed as a top 5 player in the league, defending champ. For me, I don't even really view it as a conversation anymore. If you're still screaming into the void that he's not that good or doesn't show up in big moments, then that's a you problem.
He was soft.
Yeah, was he soft when he set the record for points in a Game 7 or scored 46 in Milwaukee when the Bucks were the defending champs and, were viewed as the favorites? I don't know. Not soft to me, but I can understand the sentiment.
Okay. Eric's in Boston. Hi, Eric.
Hey, I'm so happy to follow up right now. It's kind of fuming over the last call. Can I say that Tatum hasn't been soft and the Celtics hasn't been soft, in my opinion? I think it just comes with experience, right? They were early. They got there early. Expectations changed as they were going. But if OKC loses this year, isn't going to be anything different than the fact that they were inexperienced. That's where the Celtics were when they played the Warriors. They played the Warriors. They were inexperienced. That's why everybody felt pretty good that the Warriors had a chance in that series because the Celtics just got there. And if you want to call anybody soft, you call Giannis soft for blowing the 7-point lead with 35 seconds left yesterday. But that's not my call. Really quickly, I feel like people are underestimating the Magic. They would have been a higher seed if Banchero played more than 46 games this year. Remember, they took the Cavs to 7 games last year. And that 7 games, the Cavs had their whole roster. I know they have some small additions this year, but their big pieces were there. And this is going to be the biggest team that the Celtics play. I just think people are looking at the Magic as a true 7 seed, where what they had on the floor with their best player and playing the way that they were playing, that's probably going to be the best defense that they played. The same way the Celtics played the Pacers last year, and that was the best offense. Because it's the most sexiest names on the court, doesn't mean that team doesn't function on one side of the ball really well. So that might be the best defense that we see up until we play OKC.
All right, bud. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, our intern Joey's on the line. Hey, intern Joe.
How's it going, Joe? How's it going, Skaz? Hope you guys are doing well.
How you doing?
I just wanted to touch more on that point that you had mentioned here about how this Game 5, this closeout game, the Celtics really shut up a lot of haters. And I'll be first to note that this game, I loved watching this game because I listened to the midday show probably more than I should. And all they do is yap about how much threes we shoot, how we need to shoot the 2 more. And I don't know if you took note, but in that third quarter, the Celtics were up by 5 points, and they had 10 threes that they had shot up until that point. And I told my dad, I was like, hey, if they start shooting the 3 ball really well, they're going to blow this team out. And, I mean, look at what happened at the end of that Magic game. It was really nice to just see them, and like anybody that had watched the games know, because the Celtics shoot so many threes, that's what's able to open up the rim so much.
I'll just defend this, Joey, on the shows. Maybe the Celtics don't have to shoot 60 a game. Could they shoot 30 and still win? Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
So I'm not defending the other shows. I'm just saying that when they do shoot the 3, nobody can beat them.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody.
The combination of both, their ability to get inside of the rim and their ability to shoot outside, when both of those are clicking, they're the best team in the NBA by a mile.
You got it.
I mean, we've seen this.
All right, appreciate
nice
you, Joe.
calling in, yeah.
Thanks, man. We're hearing from everybody. How about Abe in Norwood? Hey, Abe.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say, I don't know how you guys are possibly defending the Celtics this much after barely getting by a bunch of bums that couldn't throw the ball into the ocean. They should have swept them. Every game was tight. Even last night, we were losing at halftime, and then Orlando proceeded to miss 20 straight threes, and the Celtics are just getting too much credit. They got to pick it up if they want to go back-to-back.
So you don't like gentlemen sweeps, huh?
I mean, they got to look better than that. Look at Cleveland and OKC. Look how they handle business.
Okay. So
they got to look dominant than that. It looks like if we play like that versus Cleveland, we probably don't make it to the finals.
Duh.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other point that you want?
Oh, so you're defending Jason Tatum in the finals versus the Warriors? He shot 34% from the field that entire series. That's just the wrong take. You possibly can't defend that.
No, my take was in a Game 7 he scored 13 points and got beat, is what I said.
Yes, and then you're saying that he's somehow not soft. He was getting pushed around by Anthony Black and Cole Anthony this entire series.
Oh, really? He was, huh? Where are they right now? Where are they right now?
Well, they can't throw the ball into the ocean, and the Celtics
so that's Jason Tatum's fault, bro?
Is
You're a hater, man.
Is 35 plus points 3 games in a row getting pushed around?
I mean, the whole team was. They no reason the series should have been that close. We can't be giving this much credit to the Magic.
Is 4-1 close?
Is 4-1 close?
I mean, we were losing at halftime yesterday, halftime in game one.
We, huh?
Who's on the team?
Oh, I'm a huge Celtics fan. I just really wanted to see some dominant performances.
So then can you be unbiased? Can you actually look at things objectively and just do you know what the Magic did against the... All right, well, you mentioned Cleveland, right? Should Cleveland have swept them last year instead of going 7 games? Is that why they lost to the Celtics?
That's a completely different Cleveland team. Cleveland nearly had 70 wins this year. They're the 1 seed. How can we compare Cleveland last year to this year?
So last year's different. Team. This year, okay. So the Celtics had an easy path last year, but they only lost 1 game, and it's not easy this year.
Well, that's last year. All the Cleveland looked much better this year than they looked last year.
Joe, don't bring up the Magic last year, but feel free to bring up Tatum in the finals a couple years ago because that's relevant today, right?
Wicked.
Well, you guys were the ones bringing it up, telling me he had 23, 11, and 6.
You're the guy calling in saying that Tatum got pushed around, which is the worst take I've heard today. Maybe even yesterday, too. Who are you?
He's Abe.
Abe. I think they got to be more dominant.
Abe, well, what dominance do you need? What more dominant do you need besides...
I don't want to be losing at halftime to the
listen
Magic.
to me. Listen to me. No, shut up for a second. The Celtics are the only team in NBA history to be losing at halftime and win by 30 points. So don't tell me they got pushed around.
If Orlando could throw the ball into the ocean and didn't miss 20...
But they can't because they suck.
The Celtics got lucky.
Yeah, because lucky.
Thank you. We got lucky, and we need to play better.
Lucky. Oh, the leprechaun tip. Wee.
What number do you think Abe wears?
He's a Celtics fan.
What number does he wear? That's what I want to know.
I got my voice back.
You think he wears a shooting sleeve when he watches at home or no?
Does he have Lucky on his tattooed to his body?
You got a headband on during tip-off? Joe, we said Tatum struggled against the Warriors and didn't play good, right? We said they weren't good enough against the Warriors and weren't ready. That's what we said, right?
Yeah.
Just double-checking. Yeah. Just making sure.
Tatum got pushed around?
Yes, I remember, when he was out there, I said, oh, man, Anthony Black and Cole Anthony are locking him up right now.
Pushed around? Abe and Norwood. I'm going to write that one down.
We.
I'm a Celtics fan. All those other teams made it so easy.
I wonder if he stretches before tip-off from his living room. He's getting some calisthenics in.
Yeah, maybe he's got Reebok pumps like D. Brown.
Oh, he's probably got a pair of Tatums. He's on the team.
Oh, yeah.
He got them sent to him.
Yeah. He must have picked the Celtics to sweep. He must have bet that.
4-1. Barely scraping by.
Gentleman's sweep. All right, I'm glad I got my voice back. Haven't been able to yell in a while.
Tatum, not good against the Warriors. Celtics weren't ready. But, come on. He was getting pushed around by Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony, I don't know if he could push me or you around, Joe.
Yeah. They couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Do the Celtics get any credit for that or no?
The Celtics shot 0 threes in the first half. Like, seriously, I'm being honest. Any other team in the league, the way they played in the first half, loss. But yet, they get zero credit for continuing to battle back and hold them. How many points did they score in the third quarter of the match?
I believe it was 36-13 was the third quarter scoring.
Yeah.
That was close, though. I was nervous.
You going to miss this, Trent? You going to miss us? You going to miss all this?
Trent was clapping before that call even started because he was excited.
He knew, right?
He said, I hope Joe takes this one.
Listen, I when we did postgame last night, I said, let's bury it and move on. But, at the same time, Tatum's soft. He's soft. He's soft. Someone just turned on the radio and was like, why is Joe Murray saying that Tatum's soft?
Do you think that guy thinks SGA is soft?
Yeah. What happened with him? Did he have a good first round?
Not a great first round for SGA. Haven't heard a peep about it, though.
Yeah.
Tatum scored. He had 3 35-plus point games in a row in the playoffs. SGA hasn't done that in his whole career. So,
never?
I'm just saying.
Never?
Just saying. Just saying. Just the facts, Joe. That's not my opinion.
I would like this going forward. You're either with the Celtics or you're a hater. That's it. I do try to be unbiased, guys. I really do. I really, really, really try. The thing for me is that they've been so good that it's easy to be critical on the little things. I just think that they deserve credit for changing the way that they played. All they've done is shot threes for literally 2 seasons. They get to a postseason and they adjust it, and they're soft and got pushed around. We're very late, but you know what? That was worth it. Let's get to the headline.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox lead 4-0. Alex Briggs. Providing comprehensive coverage. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com to save 15% off your next drive-through oil change. At Valvoline, it's an oil change, the official oil change of people. Busy people, which is what we are tonight. I see guys lined up on the phone lines. We'll get to you. We can react to the Celtics. And if Tatum is soft and not clutch, and they didn't beat them good enough, and they should have been better at doing all that. So feel free to call in, and, we'll have some fun tonight. It's Trent's last night. He'll be on later with us. And we'll take another quick break here, and we'll get right to your calls on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
course, the winner of Pistons and New York Knicks tomorrow night. Celtics will open next Monday to begin the semifinal. Right now, it's the Rockets 36, Warriors 22. Later on tonight, Lakers and Wolves. Taking a look at the NHL scoreboard. 2-0 Capitals. Capitals over Montreal. Lightning and Panthers tied at 1. Later on tonight, Jim Montgomery and the Blues travel to Winnipeg. Cole Strange, fifth-year option. Nope. The Patriots are not picking that one up. Headlines are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Give yourself a goal of losing 40 pounds by the 4th. It's doable, it's easy, and it's your summer self. Well, thank you. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Some people play the game.
Hey, Jaylen Brown. Blocked by Horford.
Some talk about
Let's welcome to the Sports Hub Celtics show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtics show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon.
Brett, he's in the car. What's up, Brett?
Oh, holy cow, Joe. I lost a lot of my thunder, I think, through the break. But how much would you love to talk sports with Abe from Norwood every day?
Well, it just makes sense. You know, just like the guy who called and said Tatum was soft. I just,
Oh, my God. I am a hockey guy, so it takes a lot for me to call in, with the Celtics take. But to have like that, just as a Boston sports fan in general, like I don't know if that guy is just a super green teamer or a hater, whatever you want to call it, but to compare whatever the Cavs are doing or OKC and forgive me how old is SGA and how old is Donovan Mitchell? How old are both of those guys?
Donovan Mitchell is 28 years old.
28, and SGA is a little bit younger. And how old was Tatum in that first finals against the Warriors?
SGA is 26 years old.
26, and Tatum's
27 now, so what was that?
I think he was 24.
24?
24. So neither of those two guys have been to an NBA Finals, and we're talking about sweeping a team in the first round of the playoffs. And a defending champion a team with all this pedigree and experience, them not sweeping someone in the first round is a sign of not repeating for a championship or compete. It honestly makes me so frustrated. Like I had so much thunder. I called in. You were already yelling.
You're a hockey guy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2018 Bruins were the better team, wouldn't you say, over the Blues?
For sure.
Why did the Blues win?
A little bit tougher, bounce them around a bit, got in their face. That's probably about it.
They stopped the finesse style of the Bees, right?
Yep, that's what happens. And another thing too is like with these Celtics fans, and I think that people that know basketball well say, all right, like we want to see the Celtics do it when they're not shooting threes or playing that style of basketball. And you got put up against an Orlando team that was tough in your face, hard-nosed style basketball, and you took four out of 5 of them in a game, in a clinching game where you didn't shoot a three-pointer in the first half. It's mind-boggling to me. I think that's one of the most bizarre phone calls I've heard on this station in quite some time, and that's why I hung on through the break because I couldn't believe it.
Who's the Bruins' next coach?
Man, I mean, I would like Mike Sullivan. I do like that. I do like that whole kind of scenario. I don't know. I don't think Pandolfo from BU. There's a lot. I would go with Mike Sullivan. Honestly, I like the local ties. I think McAvoy is not. I think he would cater to it. His father-in-law being the coach, so I think that would help him move him along and try to become more of a leader. That's what I think. But the Bruins got a lot more problems than the coach.
All right. I've asked every time I see Kevin, I go, so what are you hearing?
It's so funny because after, you asked Kevin that, he comes back here. So yesterday I asked Kevin, and I believe I asked you this. I don't know if I asked on or off the air, but I said, what's a better job, the Blackhawks or the Bruins? And so then when you mentioned that every time you see Kevin, you ask him a question. So I said, what'd Joe ask you today? And he goes, well, Joe asked me, what's a better job, the Bruins or the Rangers? And I'm like, all right, we're basically on the same page. And Kevin, to his credit, told us both, wait till the lottery. Let's see what happens in the lottery, and then I'll let you know what I think the best job is.
He's preaching patience.
Patience.
And let's see if any other of these coaches get canned.
John Cooper seems to be a name that's being floated around as potentially, and I don't know if that's Brown checkmark or what, but Tampa saying they've underperformed is crazy to say because of what he's done there, but I do think there's a chance he could get let go, but it seems like for some reason he has ties to the Utah hockey club, so I don't know if that would be a foregone conclusion, but he's a guy that you'd at least have to interview if he became available. He'd immediately become the best coach available. I'd put him over Tocchet, over Sullivan, certainly over Lavalette. So, yeah, if that's what they're waiting for to see what else happens, I'm fine with patience, Joe.
So next Monday, we're going to get the lottery and game 1 of the semifinal.
Big day. Big day. Joe, do you think there's any chance Joe Sacco is back?
Yeah, because why are there no odds for the next coach? Why? There's Kraken odds. There's odds for all the jobs. Rangers. Why not the Bruins?
So I was of the belief when the season ended, Joe Sacco would not be back. Today's April 30th, still a long way to go. I would say I don't exactly feel that way anymore. No one tells me anything, but I think it's more likely than it was at the end of the season that Joe Sacco is a real possibility to be the Bruins head coach next year.
My recommendation, if you're not going to fire Don Sweeney, give him an extension. And the reason why I say it is because whoever the coach is will know who the GM is. The GM can pick the coach. What if Sweeney picks a coach and then the new GM says, I just saw Trent's face after that call. Should I take this? All right. Andy. What's up, Andy?
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Love the show. I'm just calling. I heard somebody say Mike Sullivan's name. Long story short, the Sullivans, they used to be, pretty involved in the South Shore. And I've heard through the grapevine that Mike Sullivan, when he left the city, was not a fan of the Jacobs family at all. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I wonder if, as much as the Bruins and the leadership and Don and Cam and Jacobs, they hang their hat on Bruin culture and winning and all that. But in the meantime, I feel like whether they know it or not, it's actually obvious they have no idea, but I feel like they themselves have kind of made the organization unattractive to a qualified coach. It's a great, great hockey city to be a fan. But I feel like they've kind of tarnished their ability to retain a good coach just in their actions. So with that, I'll listen. Thank you.
Well, they did boast that, when I say they, Don Sweeney boasted that the Bruins are one of the best jobs. I would say it's one of the best jobs. But does Mike Sweeney want to go to the Rangers? Who's Mike Sweeney? Does Mike Sullivan want to go to the Rangers or the Bruins? All that boasting about being a great job. Wonder where that gets him. Oh, George from Apex Entertainment just texted me the new burger at Apex, dude. This is like a triple burger of cheese madness. I might have to post this. Did he do this on purpose while I was on the air to talk about it, you think?
It's a smart move by him, if so.
He's a smart man. This is a triple burger of madness, dude. 3 patties? Is that chicken on the bottom? What is that? I might have to share these. They look really, really, really good. Hey, we're going to talk to Zack Cox coming up in a little bit. He's from the Herald. Was at the Celtics game last night. Who's Mike Sweeney? Someone just said, who is Mike Sweeney?
Old Royals first baseman.
Yeah.
I think he's also Conan O'Brien's either producer, writer, something like that. But yeah, those are the only two Mike Sweeneys I know.
Maybe I mixed up Mike Sullivan and Don Sweeney. Is that what I did?
I'll give it to you.
Skaz, for a moment when I was out, so we have a studio where we have 3 TVs. I went out to the, what do you call this? A lounge, waiting area, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Got a couch, a couple of nice, comfortable chairs. First half, I went, oh God, this is not tough to watch, and I might have snoozed for a minute because I caught myself. I think I snored. You snore, you're like, what happened? But while that was going on, I was like, man, these guys have played a lot of games. Like, thinking about it, like Tatum and Brown and Horford, and like Porzingis has been injured for so many games. And I saw Derek White was hurting at one point, and I'm just like, do these guys not have it? And I was thinking about how there was a trend late in the year where whenever they came back from a road trip, they lost the first game back. Well, they were in Orlando for what, 4 or 5 days? First game back, how'd they look? Keep your eyes on that one in the playoffs. Now, if it's New York, Skaz, I don't see that. Like, it's,
45, not a lot of travel there.
45-minute flight, right? Not even. Probably
hop on the train.
Probably for them, it's nothing.
In and out.
I just keep your eye on that one. Like, what if it is Oklahoma City?
Also, we've had multiple callers call in tonight and talk about Drew Holiday being back for Game 1. Look, I hope that's the case, but are we sure that's what's going to happen? Because I'm not sure he's going to be ready to go Game 1.
Joe Mazzulla mentioned something today on Beetle and Zoe about that. He mentioned he thinks he'll be ready to go.
Good. If Mazzulla thinks he'll be ready to go, then I'll shut up. He's ready to go. No questions asked.
Now, I'm paraphrasing. Because, Joe likes
what else? He said he popcorn and something else?
Yes.
What was that you put in Slack earlier?
Yes. They asked him what he likes to eat when he goes to the movies. He says he likes back in the day, it was popcorn and hot tamales.
Oh, hot tamales. It's more of a Snowcaps guy when I was younger. Big Snowcaps guy.
Okay, I'm M&M and popcorn.
There you go.
But, dude, back in the day, I used to go to the Randolph movie theater.
Kind of down by me.
Off of 24.
Yeah.
There was a Smoky Bones over there and a Olive Garden in one. Classic. But, man, I used to go for that slush puppy machine. It's not a slush puppy. It's a slush machine. But it has... They would be like, oh, do you want blue or red? I go, both. They'd be like, okay. And they would put a little red, a little blue in there. And then I'd get Sour Patch watermelons. So if you want to know where, the belly came from, it wasn't just, I was born like this. I was 286 pounds as a freshman in high school, so I've always been a large man, a large human. But I really, really liked my sugar growing up, Skaz. Who are you? Did I say that tonight?
Yes.
Who are you? Have I gone at some... Oh, I told you this weekend, Danny and Quincy went at it with Paul Perillo. It was epic. And then all of a sudden I go, hey, Danny, you got anything for me? And he goes, yeah, yo, you always complain about the refs. How's that working? And I was like, all right, see you later, Danny. Shut up for a second! Who are you?
He's Abe.
Abe Froman was the guy from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Did you ever see that one, Trent? I know you're young, but... Pardon my French! We're going to talk to Zack Cox coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe.
98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We've been doing mostly Celtics after their win last night. Wasn't a great game, but the way it ended was very great. And moving on to the next round is always great as well. And well, joining us right now on the show, he was in the building last night. His name is Zack Cox, covers the Celtics for the Boston Herald. And he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Zack, how are you tonight, bud?
Doing great, Joe. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all, man. So what happened in the first half, and what changed in the third quarter in last night's game?
Yeah, that was quite a bizarre start last night. It was really kind of a throwback to a Celtics team we haven't seen in a very long time. They went 0 for 6 from three-point range in that first half. Didn't even attempt one in the final 7 minutes of the half. It was the kind of play that we haven't seen from them in quite a few years. And then, I mean, the game really changed those first couple of minutes of the third quarter. You got Paolo Banchero picks up 3 quick fouls. He has to go to the bench with 5 fouls, and then the Magic just kind of completely collapse. The Celtics go on something like I think it was like a 30-9 run with Banchero on the bench, and then the game was just over from there. Him going to the bench opened up some of their 3-point looks and whatnot, and this Magic team just wasn't nearly deep enough to survive losing its best player for that long of a stretch. So I think on the whole, the series probably played out similar to what a lot of people were expecting, but the Magic definitely made the Celtics work for it, more so than you would expect maybe from a typical 7 seed.
Well, I think it was good for them. You know, finding a different way to win is something in the playoffs this Celtics team has yet to do, even last year. They were able to play that 3-point style, which got slowed a little bit here. Just getting back to that first half, do you think there's anything to the team down at the end of the year, whenever they went on a road trip where they were great on the road this year, that first game back, they struggled or started slow? Do you think there's anything to that, and maybe why we saw the slow start in the first half last night?
I mean, there definitely was something to it during the regular season, just because it happened, 4, 5, 6 times. It seemed like every time they spent more than a couple of days away from home, that first game back was just a dud. And that's really what the first half, or a lot of the first half of this game was. Beyond not being able to get any of the looks from 3-point range, they were just making sloppy turnovers. You had like 5 or 6 of these entry passes and lob passes to Luke Cornett that just went nowhere. There was they were really playing a lot like we saw in some of those games during the regular season. Just unlike those games, they were able to kind of right the ship late in the first half, and especially going into the second half. And then by the time the fourth quarter came, it was a 28, 29 point game, and everything was over. So they're able to turn things around there. But yeah, it was a bizarre trend that has really just followed this team all season.
Yeah, hopefully if they play New York, it's not as far. Who knows if it's Detroit and what happens with that one. Are we seeing a different Jason Tatum, a better Jason Tatum playing with an edge?
Yeah, you absolutely are. He was phenomenal in these last couple of games, really in all 3 of the games since he came back from the wrist injury, but especially in the last 2. In his first game back, he was really great as a scorer. I think he had 36 points in that game, but he had 7 turnovers. It was really kind of sort of an inconsistent effort, as was the case with that entire team. But these last 2 games, he was really just surgical. He's scoring at a level that's even higher than what we're used to seeing from him. And I thought it was really interesting hearing from him after the game last night. Joe Mazzulla has really tried to not reference last year as often as possible. But Jason Tatum admitted, he was like, having the fact that I was able to finally win a championship after so many kind of years of coming so close, it's allowed me to play with more freedom and less pressure this season, and it's just really allowed me to elevate my game. And I think that's something you're seeing right now. Like, this is the best Jason Tatum we've seen all season, and it's really obviously coming at an ideal time for the Celtics when some of their other key guys are a little bit banged up.
What do you got on his wrist? Obviously, he's got now a nice little, him and Baylor Shireman have a nice little stance after every 3. You've seen it taped up. I mean, what do you did you? I don't because people thought it was fake, right? They thought he was faking it, and Joe told him to get up. It seems like it's been a rallying cry ever since.
Yeah, I don't think it was fake. I think it's, I mean, I mentioned that other guys on the Celtics are banged up. I think Jason Tatum is still a little bit banged up. You've seen him play with the tape in the last 3 games. Talking to him after that final game down in Orlando, he basically acknowledged that it's not fully healed, that he's still going to be dealing with it. I think he said something like, my team knows how severe it is and knows how to handle it. So maybe these 6 days that they're going to get off here before the Eastern Conference semifinals start up, maybe that is enough of a stretch for that bruise to heal. But yeah, it was definitely something that was continuing to bother him in the days after the injury, which just makes what he was able to do in these last couple of games all the more impressive.
All right, talking to Zack Cox, Boston Herald. I guess who would be the more favorable matchup? Pistons or New York Knicks?
I would say the New York Knicks. I think the Knicks are a more talented team, and I think in a weird way they probably have a better chance of beating the Celtics than the Pistons. But the Celtics are just, I mean, they owned the Knicks during the regular season. They went 4-0. 3 of those games weren't remotely close. The one that was close, Jaylen Brown was very clearly limited and didn't play for the final 20 minutes or so. That was the one they won in overtime at MSG a couple of weeks ago. But they just, the Knicks do not match up well against the Celtics whatsoever, despite making some roster moves that seemed specifically tailored to matching up well against the Celtics. And the fact that series has been a grind over this last week or so between them and Detroit. It's going at least 6, maybe it goes 7. If it does go 7, then that team would be coming off of 2 days rest with a couple of their key players banged up. So I would be very surprised if it's even a significantly competitive series against the Knicks. I don't think that the Pistons would give the Celtics any real challenge. I don't think they would have much of a chance of winning that series, but they do play kind of a similar style and a similar mentality to this Orlando team that the Celtics just saw, where they just want to kind of play physical and beat the hell out of you. And having to play 2 of those teams back to back, plus the fact that Cade Cunningham is really one of the kind of ascending stars in the NBA right now. I think the Celtics they would be clear and prohibitive favorites against both of those teams. But if I'm them, I would much rather play the Knicks.
I'm all Missoula ball. Like I know some people don't like it, but when they're just rolling out threes and hitting, I don't think anybody can beat them. Like anybody in the league when they're shooting the 3. I agree with you. I think New York's probably, even though they're the better team, probably the more favorable matchup. Drew Holiday, how are they going to play this one? I know Missoula was on with Zoe Beadle today here, but I just, I don't know. He says he's day-to-day, but age, hamstring, you think they've just been waiting for him for the next round and knew that they could take care of business?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest question in my mind going into this next series. Like, was this a case of the Celtics being pretty confident that they could win this series without Drew Holiday, and the fact that he is an older player and he has dealt with some injuries this year? If they just said, we're going to shut you down for the rest of this series to have you back at a higher level once the next one comes around, I don't know. That would be the ideal situation for the Celtics, because he is a very important player for them, especially the deeper you get into the playoffs and the more talented these opponents get. But it wasn't a great sign in my eyes that he wasn't even listed as questionable for either of the last 2 games. He was just straight up ruled out the day before the game. Typically, that kind of designation suggests that a guy isn't especially close to playing. So we'll see what happens over this next week or so. Again, the Celtics are really benefiting from finishing off the Magic early and getting this kind of week-long break before the next round, get some of their guys healthy. But yeah, he's going to be an extremely important player for them as the playoffs get deeper. So they've got to hope that he's going to be able to get back out there before long.
What you been seeing? What do you see from Kristaps Porzingis at the moment?
It's been a weird postseason for him. He's been able to be really impactful in a couple of the games, especially the game 4 down in Orlando. He's also played probably 2 of his worst games as a Celtic, if not his 2 worst games as a Celtic in this series or in this series that just wrapped up. His shooting touch is all over the place, especially right near the rim. He's been missing a lot of these kind of easy gimme shots. It's funny, the fact that he was missing those actually worked out in his favor a couple of times down in Orlando, because he was able to kind of miss a shot at the rim, get his own rebound, and then draw a foul on the putback. But yeah, it's just been a really erratic playoffs for him so far. I think the fact that the Celtics they're not super reliant on Porzingis. It's not a case of if Porzingis plays poorly in a game, the Celtics don't have a chance of winning. They do have Al Horford, who's still playing at a very high level, and Luke Cornett's been good for them too. So the fact that they have that depth in the front court is certainly helpful. But yeah, you would like to see a little bit more steadiness from him in the second round than he showed so far against Orlando.
All right, Zach, I know you're on the old Celtics beat now. Do you have a take on the Patriots draft?
I mean, it seemed to have worked out about as well as anybody could have hoped. I feel like this offseason as a whole has been kind of win after win after win for the Patriots. So we'll see what that all looks like once the pads come on, once everything comes together. Obviously, a lot of people had some optimism about this team last offseason, and none of that panned out. But I think it's hard to have drawn up a much better Patriots offseason than what they've been able to put together so far. So I think they should be far more competitive and put Drake May in a far better position this season, certainly than they were last year.
Yeah, were you as locked in as you've been now with everything with the Celtics?
Not nearly as I was in the past. There was a lot of day 3 draft picks who I had to kind of scramble and research and look up after the Patriots picked them. But yeah, excited to see what these guys can bring to them this year.
Yeah, I was with Alex Barth, and he was just nonstop writing, looking. I'm like, hey, I felt like just asking him about mascots, from the MAC. But I'd be like, hey,
I am not anywhere
mascot?
Close to Barth's level at this point. Yeah,
kid was absolutely wild over the draft. But hey, man, we're locked in now. I got NBA Finals on the brain, and they got another round to go here. So we'll see if it's Detroit or New York, man. Appreciate you taking a few minutes tonight, and maybe we'll catch up down the line here when the Celtics advance.
Absolutely, Joe. Thanks for having me.
You got it. He's Zack Cox, everybody. Boston Herald. Check out his work over there. Appreciate you, Zach. Good job. He's covered the Patriots for years, and now he's on the Celtics. So I feel like I got to ask a Patriots question every once in a while. You know what I mean? Just got to mix that in there every once in a while. All right. We'll take a quick break. Get you caught up in everything happening in the sports world. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celtics.
on the Sports Hub. Joe could do voiceovers and make a fortune, somebody says. I am open for business. Who do you want me to do? I'm pretty good at doing voices. I'm pretty bad at voices, too. Impersonation's not my thing. When I went to broadcasting school, they asked everybody, I think I've told you this, Skaz, before, but they asked everybody in class to do something. So a lot of people did like Southern voices or British voice. I did Joe Kwon-Do, which was after Rex Kwon-Do from Napoleon Dynamite. Remember when Kip wanted to learn how to do Taekwondo? And the guy is like, he had the pants, remember? He goes, you think somebody who looks like me would be dating Scarla? And then that was my voice, Joe Kwon-Do. No one understood what I was doing, but you know what? They liked my voice. Patriots Hall of Fame tomorrow. Who's it going to be? Vinatieri or Edelman? You and I have talked about this, guys. I remember there was a young lady who called in one day, and she was like, I don't like the misrepresentation of us young people not giving Adam Vinatieri his credit. And I said, you know what? I appreciate you.
I think she was dead on.
I hope that the Patriots fans think about the impact that Adam Vinatieri made for the Patriots.
Yeah, and I also think the people that are voting on the Patriots Hall of Fame as fans are not under 20 or under 25. That was never... it's never something I would have done at that age. It's not something I really think too much about now, but I have to imagine that the people that are voting for that are going to heavily lean towards Adam Vinatieri. That would be my thought.
Who's going to get it?
I think it's Vinatieri.
Better be it.
At least he's getting voted in and didn't just get handed to him.
I thought he'd get his number retired. I think they've gave out 4 already, right? Didn't your
guy wear it?
What state?
Didn't Bailey Zappi wear 4?
He did. The Zap?
The Zap. I'm glad that's over.
I've reached out to his agent, who's actually Jalen Hurts' agent. So I don't know how far that's going to go, but he did like Dom steak tips. We have that in common. Maybe it could be me, Dom, and Zap eating some Dom's wings.
Where is he still? Where is he now?
Kansas City Chiefs, it says.
Still practice squad?
It says he's on the active roster here.
There you go. Good for him. Happy for him.
Our Lads Chiefs. Let's just take a look because I go to Our Lads for all my depth chart information. Gardner Minshew is the backup now. The Zap. So I'll never forget this, but I bet Cleveland on that Zappy game, if you remember, they covered. But he threw a stupid pass to some lineman. That lineman retired. Did you know that? He just retired out of nowhere. How about Jordan Travis retiring today?
Yeah, it's kind of a sad one. I feel bad for him.
Broke his leg right before the FSU.
They were undefeated, right? And then they didn't even get in the playoff.
Deservingly. No, if he didn't get hurt, do you think they make the playoff?
Yes.
Me too. Me and Livshots have gone back and forth about that one. Livshots had a good in or out today. Did you see that?
I did see that, but as a golf guy, I've played countless rounds alone. That's not even a question. But I'm happy he did it. I'm happy he had a good time. But yeah, that's like 101 right there. You get out there, play by yourself. It's great, very relaxing, no pressure. It's a great time.
For those that didn't see it, Livshots wrote playing golf alone on a weekday, yay or nay, and I was like, dude, in or out. I got 81 responses.
I would imagine heavily in yay.
Sure, in. And then I got a few, Joe, do you go to buffets by yourself? I feel like I can't eat that much food by myself. Don't get me wrong. Have I been to a buffet by myself? I don't know.
Buffet is like, that's still a thing.
Buffet?
Yeah.
Besides, like, for holidays? Where is Old Country Buffet still a thing?
No idea.
You ever been to an Old Country Buffet?
Maybe when I was young, but not that I remember.
Oh. There was one at the Watertown Mall, which is not far from here. And then there was one at the Walpole Mall. They had a dream machine. Think about the Walpole Mall. They had a dream machine. So when we growing up, guys, we didn't have Taco Bell around here. They had a Pizza Hut, a Taco Bell, a Dream Machine arcade, and an Old Country buffet. Now, I was more of the dessert guy. I would make my own twists. By the way, for musings tonight, I have something happened to me on the way in today. It was almost a sign, like, Joe, don't. Hung in there, though. So I'll save that for an hour. You know what we got next? In or out? We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed. McCarthy's parents. I'm trying to think of who else's parents I've met. Oh, Beatles' dad, if he chirped me. Oh, that's great. Beatles' dad always chirps me. Well, I'm used to that by now.
This would be not even like that. This would be like someone from a competitor, their father calling in, you know? Maybe the predecessor's father calling in to chirp you.
Out.
I don't think you'd handle that so well, Joe.
Out. Nope. No.
Yeah, I don't think he needs a lifetime ban, but maybe take the rest of the playoffs off.
No. You know why? I wouldn't be able to respect authority. Respect my authority. No. If your old man see, this is this is now we're crossing lines. Sometimes you don't want the smoke. Here's the deal, right? No, let's just talk this out for a minute.
Smack to him is more that he ran to the free throw line and got in his face.
If Giannis knocked the old... Right?
I'm with you.
I think Giannis, his actions, I'm over. The Jaylen Brown pat on the head, out. In a way, is he right? He is.
Yeah, I thought the way he handled it was pretty good, his comments post-game. And I thought, honestly, Tyrese Halliburton handled it really well as well, saying, there's no place for that, it won't happen again. That was my dad and not me kind of thing. So, yeah.
Is there another sport where it's like this? So again, in football, like Eli's dad was like, he's not going to play for the Chargers or, but in basketball, like the Balls, right?
Yep.
Even Tatum's mom, like LeBron's mom.
She's never inserted herself into anything.
LeBron's mom.
Even her, though, like, did she insert herself into the Cavaliers or... That's, not touching that one.
Sounded under my breath. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
But, like, does it happen in baseball? Hockey?
Youth hockey, for sure. Those parents are out of control.
Oh, dude.
The worst.
I got some high school stories of, like, being at, like, another team and they're me at first base and all the dads are chirping me, spitting their chew at me. True story. Imagine that. Catholic school. Dude, I'm telling you, man. It was wild in 1998 and 9. Those were some wild times, man. But, yeah, youth hockey, dude. How many times are you hearing about a dad beat up I saw that recently, actually. There's a wrestling match where the ref kind of screwed up in a high school wrestling, and the dad knocked out the ref. Ref got up, did nothing, but come to find out, the ref was a judge. Guy got arrested at work. See you later, big boy.
Rightfully so.
Or I thought he handled it well, right?
Yeah, any parent that gets involved at all in their child's, sports that's not a coach, you are
absolutely embarrassing.
The biggest type of loser there is. Yeah.
Oh.
Relax. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay.
All right, what else we got tonight?
All right, Joe. Tom Segura, very famous comedian who, you may want to keep listening to the show if you're a Tom Segura fan. Might have something for you at some point tonight. But Tom Segura has a new dark comedy series coming to Netflix called Bad Thoughts. Joe Murray, are you in or out on a Tom Segura comedy series?
In. What is he, Peruvian?
Tom Segura?
Yeah, like what's his background, though? Like, I know he's from, like, Cincinnati, Ohio or whatever, but...
kind of looks... He's got the same... looks like you, Joe, a little bit. Actually, bald guy, got the beard.
You're right. He's... Yeah. I guess his dad used to be the vice president of Merrill Lynch. Oh, no, he is. You're right. He is a Peruvian immigrant. Yeah. Wow. Don't know how I knew that.
Yeah, good for you. I guess you're a big Tom Segura guy, Joe. I had no idea.
What is he? Is it Your Mom's House? What's the name of that?
That sounds right. Him and his wife do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's coming to Springfield. I heard that. Yeah, man. Who's the guy that we watched? That I can never get his name right, but he was talking about the dog sleeps in the bed. He's like real clean comedy guy.
Nate Bargatze?
That guy. That one was good. I saw my buddy Chris Costa with Bert Kreischer, who's everywhere now.
Yeah, I think him and Tom do a podcast together as well.
Oh, they do? Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
What does he not do nowadays, Bert, though?
He's like the comedian version of Shaq. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's like their Kevin Hart, yeah.
Is there anybody like that here? Because, like, Lenny Clark's a legend. Lenny, friend of the show.
I see Lenny on the TV every once in a while doing some ads.
Yeah. Let me tell you about it. Clam chowder, lobster rolls, and Sokolov Law. Actually, every time I drive by Prince Pizza, it's either come see Steve. Hey, listen, growing up, I told you my first job in I was a producer. Like you, Skaz, I was a producer. And I was talking to Steve Sweeney, who every time I see him, he goes, why can't I remember? I know you from somewhere. I'm like, I was your producer.
I hope you never forget me, Joe. That would be tough.
No,
that would be tough.
And you know how many times people say, "Man, it's a cool story. You met Skaz at a Hooters." And now he did work in radio before that, though. Where was I going with this? No, but I told you back then he had all his friends on. Like it was Steve Sweeney and friends. He would Lenny Clark, Tony V, like Don Lynch. Trying to think of like all the locals at the time, Frank Santarelli, and you name them. So it was all the regulars. And I told you, we used to like Rob Kelly would be like, oh, I'd be like, yeah, sorry, Rob. Can't get you on today. Gary, sorry, Gary, it's just not going to work out today. Bubble tea.
No.
So, in on bubble tea. It kind of like a Thai iced tea with the tapioca.
It's got a little boba or whatever is in
whatever
there.
They call it. Yeah. Boba. A boba tea. And by the way, yes, if you go to Dumpling Daughter, get the old Thai bubble tea. Tell them Joe Murray sent you.
All right, Joe. We can end with this one tonight. Duets is something that is often discussed on the station. I know the Midday has done it. I believe we've dabbled in it as well at night.
Mm-hmm. Is Kendrick Lamar and SZA a duet?
No, I think she opens. I don't know. They have songs
like their song
together.
Is it like a duet?
Yeah, collaboration duet.
Is a collab a duet?
Yeah, I would. Yes.
Is Dido and Eminem a duet?
Joe, you're asking me questions I don't have the answer to. Collaboration duet, same thing to me, but maybe a duet's more of like a love ballad. I don't know.
Okay.
But Joe, on duets, one Barbra Streisand.
Whoa, how old is she?
Has announced a new duets album titled "The Secret of Life: Partners Volume 2." On this album, Barbra Streisand will have duets with Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey and Barbra Streisand?
Hozier.
Whoa.
Sam Smith. Paul McCartney. Bob Dylan.
Get out of here.
Tim McGraw. James Taylor. Sting.
Taylor Swift.
Seal and Josh Groban. Joe Murray, are you in or out? And someone named Laffy, I'm sorry. Laffy. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Barbra Streisand's new duets album?
In. Wow.
Joe, would you like to guess how old Barbra Streisand is?
$80.
Barbra Streisand is 83 years old.
Wow.
Just turned 83 a week ago.
Barbra Streisand.
Some heavy hitters on that list, though.
Barbra Streisand. I think I'd listen to that. My whole thing is, I mean, I assume she can still sing, right?
I mean, I
Barbra
would hope so.
Streisand and Bob Dylan. Think about that for a second.
I mean,
did anyone ask for this?
This has me excited for Joey Murray's Songs of the Summer, though, because I got some ideas coming. Maybe some duets this year.
I mean, did they like meet at a Jewish deli and were like, hey, I think we should do a duet?
Might have to get Jeremy Conley in here for a duets of, Joey Murray's summer hits.
There's got to be a backstory with these two. Okay, I'm reading now. It turns out the pair have kept eyes on each other for decades.
A little creepy.
In 1970s, he sent me flowers and a charming note written in colored pencil with childlike letters suggesting they work together. 5 years later, he sent her a copy of his latest album, Infidels, with a message saying he was looking forward to seeing her film Yentl. They have they're pen pals. Could have been you. I need this one. I need this one, I think, Skaz. I'm in. This is the duet I never asked for that I need. Who else was on that list? Mariah Carey?
Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey.
I think, okay, listen, people might not like Ariana Grande personally, but I think she is super talented. I really do. Loved her on SNL this year, or last year. Maybe they'll sing Everybody in the 90s. All right. In or out? In on that one, though. We got to keep our eyes on that one. All right, well, we got another hour to go. Well, we got an hour. New hour now. Let's get the headline here. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
The Type Studios. The 18-time world champion Boston Celtics are looking for number 19.
Tatum pull up.
Hear every playoff game right here. Your home for Boston Celtics basketball. WBC FM and HD1 Boston.
Is this a duet? That Elton John song with
Is it Brandy Carlisle?
Is that song? And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Oh, I don't, there's a recent one I think he did with Brandy Carlisle. I don't know.
I don't know. Hasn't he been collabing with everybody, I feel like, lately?
I think he has a whole duets album from a quick Google search.
Oh, who's on? I just need to know who's on that. If you have a quick finger on that.
All right. Teardrops with Katie Lang. When I Think About Love with PM Dawn.
PM Dawn, Die Without You.
The Power with Little Richard.
Ooh.
Shaky Ground with Don Henley.
Whoa.
True Love with Kiki D. If You Were Me with Chris Rea. Woman's Needs with Tammy Wynette. Old Friend with Nick Kershaw. Go On with Gladys Knight.
Whoa.
Don't Go Breaking My Heart with RuPaul.
Or I've heard that one.
Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing with Marcella Valerie Simpson. I'm Your Puppet with Paul Young. Love Letters with Bonnie Raitt.
Ooh.
Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me with George Michael.
That's the jam.
Yeah, acting like you didn't know, Joe. Come on. You know Elton's duets.
I'm a big George Michael fan. Again, I'm a child. I was born in 1982. So, like, George Michael was,
Are you a George Michael Bluth fan?
Who the hell's that?
You ever watch Arrested Development?
Unfortunately, no. Wait.
Great show.
Is Arrested... Wait, what's the one with... I think I'm thinking of Modern Family with Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, that's Modern Family.
Wait, which one's Arrested Development? Why
Jason Bateman. Portia de Rossi.
No.
Great show.
Really?
Oh, hilarious show. One of the funniest shows you'll watch. You'd like it, Joe.
Do you think I should... Do you know what show I gave a chance and was really funny? Parks and Rec. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
Yeah, Parks and Rec is good.
I gave that one a chance, and I was like, this thing's great.
Adam Scott and Rob Lowe really helped the show, I think.
I liked... who's the dude that was played Scott Hatterberg there?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. He was good.
Nick Offerman's
And he
great.
loved John Cena.
Who doesn't love John Cena?
Oh, no. Nick Offerman can smell his wife off the elevator like I can smell lettuce.
Tammy. Yeah, Tammy 1 and Tammy 2.
And then Modern Family, dude. That's another one. So that was on before wrestling on USA, everyone. So that's how I got into that one. But do you know what show I can't get into? And I've tried. And I've tried a million times. Oh, my God. I just had it at the top of my head there. Oh, my God. Dude from Fargo there. And Shameless. I've tried Shameless 1,000 times. Can't do it.
Never watched it.
Just I can't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of... So you think that Arrested Development, I should give it a shot?
Very funny show.
George Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John. I can't find... Oh, da, da, da.
Tons of famous people in Arrested Development, too. Tons of them. Ron Howard does the voiceovers, so yeah.
All right, well, let's see what voiceover we got from StoolGreenie after a playoff advancement. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray.
Celtics are advancing to the next round. And, well, we were like, hey, who do you want to have on the show tonight? And Skaz goes, Greenie. And I said, yes. So joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, no other than Dan Greenberg, Barstool Sports. Greenie, how you doing tonight, bud?
Oh, Murray, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. It wasn't pretty. I said let's bury the basketballs and move on and take a couple of days off. It wasn't pretty, but the floodgates opened and everything that was weighing on the team finally came through in that third quarter, and they closed it out, and here they are now on to the semifinal.
Yeah, it was almost like a release, right? Like we were waiting all series for that exact type of run where they're cleaning the glass, they're not turning the ball over, they're moving the ball, and finally the heavens above open up and they can finally make some threes. And it was vintage Missoula Celtics that I think we were all craving for 5 games.
Greenie, I love Missoula ball. Like, I know people, they shoot too many threes, and then when they play a team that can defend, watch what happens. So I'm more comfortable with them playing Missoula ball. Like, I'm in on it. Well, they found another way to win, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from the series. So I validate everything that the Magic did. I know they had no shooters, but the Celtics found another way to win, but also I think one of their star players, Jason Tatum, found an edge and took it to the next level.
Well, I think, Joe, you have to remember one of the core principles of Missoula ball isn't just shooting threes. It's finding the right shot and taking that right shot without hesitation. If you're in a stretch of a game where that ends up being an open three because of drive and kick and good ball movement, that's Missoula ball. If Missoula ball is you have to change your approach and now you're attacking through the post or through drives with your 2 best players, getting to the free throw line, that's Missoula ball. Missoula ball is more of a concept of find a way to bury your opponent and then do it ruthlessly.
Do you think that's what they did in the scenario?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they took probably, 35, 33 threes a game. It was a completely different approach to how they need to execute, and it's almost sort of why I wanted Orlando, because when you think of what their playoff path could be, everybody's going to try to take their threes away, and the teams with good physical perimeter defense are usually the teams that give the Celtics fits. The Magic were a great opportunity to get those early reps and to try to figure out, okay, if we're playing a team that isn't going to help and is going to stay on shooters, what do we do? Well, now we have a 5-game sample. I mean, they have the 5th best offense in the playoffs, and they haven't even played their normal style. So I think they adapted well and embraced Missoula ball in that respect.
What do you think was better? What Cleveland did in their opening series against a nothing opponent, or what the Celtics did against Orlando?
They're just different. I mean, I think Cleveland did what they should have done against that specific Heat team, but the Heat and the Magic are, in different stratospheres. So you had different expectations. Yours was end the series quick, 4 or 5 games, get out healthy, and play well. Theirs for the Cavs is you shouldn't even lose a quarter to this Heat team. So I think both were impressive. It's just the real test for both these teams comes later, certainly not in the first round.
Speaking of impressive, last 5 playoff series, I know you tweeted about this last night, but they haven't gone more than 5 games against a team. Like people say, oh, it's the path. The path is so easy. I don't know. We're watching dominance, right? We are watching one of the best teams in NBA history.
I mean, Joe Mazzulla is 20-4, I believe, in his last 24 playoff games. They've won, I think Grandy tweeted it out, 23 wins over a 28 playoff game span. No Celtics team has ever done that in their history, which is insane to think about. I just think what they're doing is they're playing to their standard, and what we're learning is they're a really hard team to beat 4 out of 7 times. You're going to get the one stinker that they usually have, one every 5 games, but at the end of the day, this is a team that has the experience, the talent level, the coaching, and they just seem like they're primed to capitalize on this opportunity, which will legitimately make them Celtic gods if they're able to pull it off.
And Jason Tatum certainly responded after missing a game, which with a severe wrist injury to just go off 3 straight for 35 points. I just wanted to bring up that edge thing again. Like, this was supposed to be the revenge tour, right? Are we seeing the revenge tour from Tatum?
It's interesting. I sort of feel a little gaslit by people who think that this is like some new version of Jason Tatum. Like, this is playoff Jason Tatum. This is what he has always been. And I've never really subscribed to the theory that he doesn't have toughness or an edge or aggression. I just feel like sometimes we're all watching a different sport if you feel that way. But what I will say is he is now, it's sort of like Tom Brady when he talked about having the answers to the test. This version of Tatum, now that he has the confidence of a championship and he doesn't have that burden, he talked a lot about how this season was the most free he's ever felt as a Celtic. And that's, I think, what we expected coming off a title. I think the motivation is like he is seeing what's in front of him. He knows that nobody can stop him. And now he's finding ways to impact. And his jumper is going down, which is not something that happened last playoff run. I just think he's extremely locked in and is looking to take advantage of the moment.
So I'm glad you say gaslit, because we got a call earlier tonight where some guy was like, Tatum's soft. And I was like, and then he goes, well, he was soft. And I go, all right, well, give me like an example. And I went off. So just like, how you feel like you're gaslit about this. There is you got to admit, though, like, I agree with you. Tatum's been so consistent. And I think people forget because they saw Jaylen Brown, and don't take this as an insult, but I saw Jaylen Brown actually play to his potential last year. Like, he finally met what he could have been, or people always thought he could have been, right? But Tatum's always played to this. So I agree with you. He's always played to this level. Now he's just more confident in his matchups. And, something clicked right before halftime. I saw, I think it was Wagner or whoever, kind of set up at the 3-point line. And Tatum just kind of goes at him, gives him a head nod, and then just drives right to the basket. It was like something clicked all of a sudden, and then finally the 3-point shot started going down.
That play, I think, that dunk to end the half, and the fact that he just went right into the locker room, that I think everyone who saw that kind of was like, uh-oh, don't let them start the third quarter hot because he has that look. But you have to remember, he averaged 31, 11, and 5 this first round. He did that in like 2 separate playoff series last year on the court on the way to the title. So it's like, I think people are just starting to warm up to the idea that maybe they had the wrong perception of Tatum, and now it's starting to overcompensate of like, man, look at how mean he is. He's aggressive. It's like, this is the Jason Tatum that has existed for a long time. It's just for whatever reason, people just wanted to refute that. I just think now that they've won the title and they got over the hump, people are starting to tell the truth when it comes to Tatum, which is refreshing.
All right, talking with Barstool Greenie here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Peyton Pritchard's offensive game has it's gone down. But I see things defensively I didn't think he could do. I know he's always been he can hold his own, But I know you had some numbers regarding how he did against Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. But he was on the court a ton this series. Can you break down how he did defensively?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you lost Drew Holiday, you missed you didn't have that elite ball pressure. You didn't have a guy who could switch on and guard up and not give up, anything offensively when that player was targeted. Peyton Pritchard essentially filled the Drew Holiday role, on that end of the court. He was taking on Paolo and Franz with no help, backing him down, not using his leverage, getting low, and really, making it tough. They finished 6 of 22 against him on 50 possessions, which is just mind-boggling, and it's how he stayed on the court because you're right. Offensively, he was a non-factor, and that's sort of the concern with him when you're in these playoff runs and you're facing these physical, big defenses that have length on the perimeter. They're going to take away his three. So Pritchard to play, and he's pretty important given their bench is pretty short, has to be that guy on the defensive end. The way he guarded and just, provided value without scoring, this might have been the best series he's ever had, which is crazy because he barely shot the ball.
And I think that will change. If he can hold his own defensively, he'll get his shots off eventually. Just another nitpick. Porzingis was solid at times, right? Pick and roll, going to the basket. But when he had the mouse in the house situation where he's the bigger guy with the better matchup, the ball wasn't falling. Any concerns on Porzingis' game?
So if everybody else was great for the most part, this was a pretty disastrous series for him. Just when you think of why he was brought in, right? I don't think he won a single switch matchup against Corey Joseph in the post, which is beyond unacceptable, right? I mean, he shot 18% on post-ups in this series. It's just he's one of the most elite post-up players in the NBA, and that was just a non-factor. So the concern there is it a physicality thing? Is it just a feel thing? Because if teams are going to switch, you have to be able to beat that through Porzingis in the post, right? You're going to, they're not going to be able to shoot threes. You have to score another way. He was supposed to be the safety valve. Well, that requires him to make a 10-foot jumper over a guy he's a foot and a half taller from. So, he only shot 11% from three. That wasn't great. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt, and maybe it is just a matchup thing like so many playoff series are. But at the end of the day, if he's going to be healthy and he's going to play, he actually has to play and beat Kristaps Porzingis.
All right, so I brought this up earlier in the show, and I'd like your opinion on it. But if Tatum drops 35, 36, 37 against one of the better defensive teams in the league, what's he going to do against, I don't know, let's just call it the New York Knicks or the Pistons for that matter, who I do think are a little bit of a tougher matchup. But what are your thoughts on the two opponents, and who do you want to see?
Yeah, so it's really scheme related, right? If they end up playing the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau would rather die before he switches everything, like you just saw, the Magic do. So you would see a lot more drop coverage. You would see him attack Karl Anthony Towns in space, which during the year we saw was an automatic 2 points. Against the Pistons, they're like the next level up of the Magic, where they're tough, they're big, they're physical, but they just have better shooters, right? Like you're not going to see them miss 19 straight threes in a game. They can hurt you if you give them space. So I tend to prefer the teams that are limited offensively in playoff series just because I know the Celtics are going to go 4 minutes without scoring. So I would like their opposition to also not have a high offensive ceiling. So I, at this moment in time, would probably prefer the Pistons just because I know the Knicks can score. And their last game of the year with Mitchell Robinson back was a little bit closer than the previous three. So we'll see. Someone might get hurt over, hopefully that's a long series between those two. But I'd probably go Pistons as things stand today.
All right, man. You watching the rest of the NBA playoffs? Who you liking so far?
I mean, it's hard not to like the favorites. They've all looked great. You wanted to say, the Warriors were turning a corner, but they're getting blown out today by like 30. So, outside of the Memphises and the Heat, that didn't even really deserve to be there. I think every series has been great, and I have no idea who's coming out of the West, given how all those series have gone. It's been tremendous.
I almost want to watch the Lakers lose tonight. But
I think we're all hoping for that. That would just be the cherry on top coming off of, the last 3 or 4 days we've had. I'm going to be insufferable if they get bounced in the first round.
Well, I'd like you to join in on this one because I'm the guy here, again, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm sure you're an avid listener to the station. We lead off Celtics every night. They're the best team in town. They've been the best team in town for a while now. I say tap out, and everyone says, Joe, you're being foolish about that. But I don't know, man. Like, going back, if I look at what the Celtics have done, the Brooklyn Nets are ruined, right? The Miami Heat are now ruined. I'm sorry. They're ruined. The Celtics ruined them. They ruined the Mavericks. Am I missing anybody else? They ruined. I'm trying to think of who else they've ruined.
I mean, you
the
can
Bucks.
make the case. You can make the case that what they did in 2022 against Milwaukee sort of started their whole trend. I mean, all things. I mean, when you're the team, you're arguably the team of the decade. All roads sort of point back to you because everyone's trying to figure out how to beat you. Right? Every team this summer loaded up because they got to deal with the big bad Celtics. Well, everything that they've tried so far hasn't seemed to make a difference. So, I guess that's just unfortunate for them.
Yeah, the Bucks are done. I don't know where Giannis goes. What'd you think of the Halliburton's dad Giannis thing?
It's tough. I mean, you kind of side initially with Giannis because, family and people, you can't be getting in athletes' faces.
Yep.
But at the same time, I've seen Giannis not act humble in victory. So he kind of does want to play both sides of the argument, which kind of turns me off. But, I'm a believer in the Pacers. I think they're arguably, the third best team in the East, might even be the second best team. I think that series is going to be tremendous. They're like 35-14 in 2025, but, we've heard it before from Giannis of this humble, and I think to some degree that's true, but I've seen him shimmy in front of, Malik Beasley after making, a three. I've seen him try to clown Jaylen Brown in the middle of a game after elbowing him in the face. So, part of that I sort of tune out, but you can't have people from your family going up and getting in guys' faces. That's probably a little too much.
Well, God forbid you move the basket while he's shooting free throws at the
right, or like you steal his game ball or something. Yeah.
No, nobody can do that. I know we've been talking here, but JJ Redick not happy with some of the questions that he got about keeping all the starters in the entire half. So that should be lovely to watch how that one goes. Hey, before we let you go, man, I got to get your opinion on this. It's not basketball related, but I'm sure you got one. Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick, what do you got for me?
Listen, the love, you just never know, what true love may find you, right? It comes in all shapes and sizes, ages, anything. So if he's happy and she's happy, I'm happy for him. It's certainly not something I would want my mid-70s-year-old father to do, but fortunately, he and my mom have been married for 50 years. You don't have to worry about that. But it's weird, but the heart wants what the heart wants.
Good answer, Greeny. All right, man. Well, you got a couple of days off to rest and gear up for either Detroit or New York. So, maybe we'll catch up during the next series, my man.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. He's Barstool Greeny. Everybody check out his work. Barstool Sports does an excellent job. I needed that tonight. You were right, Skaz. You said Greeny, and I hit the spot right there. That was exactly what we needed right there.
Yeah, Celtics advance. You got to hear from Greeny.
He's right. He said it better than I do. Tatum's been doing this for years.
I thought you were going to say love. You can't stop love, basically.
I just had. Can we do this next? Let's do it next. I was thinking of, how there's always like they have like Benifer, like Ben and Jennifer. What's Bill and Jordan? Belly's chicks? Like, I need one. I need
Belladon.
Belladon. Oh! Oh, that's a good one. Throw that one in the chat, Trent. Let's get some help on that one. Oh, you know what? 5 calls says it all. What do you think? 5 calls says it all? 5 calls says it all. I need a name. Similar to Benifer. Who's some of the other ones? Does Travis Kelce and Taylor have one?
I have to be certain that they do because of the internet and Swifties, but I have no idea what it is.
All right, well, I'm taking suggestions. 617-779-0985. Why not? Let's do it next. Let's get to the headlines on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Trent's last show, too. So we're going to bring him on before we get out of here. But we're going to put him to work right now. Here you go, Trent. Caller number 10 right now to our contest line at 617-931-0985 will score a pair of tickets to see Tom Segura on his Come Home Together tour on May 22nd at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Mass. Few tickets still available for the show. Get your tickets now at massmutualcenter.com. Caller number 10. I put out the calls. This is what I came up with. Belladon is what Skaz has. Jordachick. Budson. Bordon. That's all I got. Let's hear from you guys. Dave's in Tewksbury. Hey, Dave. Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
What do you got for me for a name? What's up?
Well, unfortunately, you just mentioned the thing I was thinking of. I was thinking of Jordachick, too, so.
Jordachick. All right, dude.
Sorry, but.
I lost you. That's all I got, Skaz. But Belladon's great. Belladon. Do you think Grandy could do the play-by-play?
From Bellator to Belladon.
I'm still working on Snacks with Max. What would you rather watch? Snacks with Max or Belladon?
Snacks with Max. All day, every day.
Seriously, the next time I see him, I just want to be like, hey, Max, what do you think about Gushers?
I have to imagine Max is a big fan of Gushers.
I know he loves Cheetos. He likes the Cheeto popcorn. You know that, right? Like at the Garden, you know they have that. Anyways, the stuff today, guys, it's getting out of control. That statement sounded like Bill today. And I think it had to. It came from the university.
Wait,
right?
which one, Joe?
Well, the one that was about the CBS News. Not the one penned yesterday. With, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you. I was thinking about playing Bette Midler, Wind Beneath My Wings, when we talked about this, but I don't know if Bette Midler would approve of Belladon.
What's more interesting, the Belichick statement or the CBS rebuttal? Because I think it's
rebuttal.
Yes, it's the CBS rebuttal.
They're burying his ass.
And Joe, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but when Bill Belichick in the past has been asked questions he doesn't like, how does he usually respond?
I'm not here to talk about the past or, doing what's best for the team.
So he speaks for himself.
Very much.
Wow. It's kind of interesting to me. I just didn't realize that, she was the media professional and one of his first interviews ever. You got to guide him through it.
One of you guys put this in Slack today. Didn't Edelman post something and one of the kids' wives?
There seems to be rumors of that floating around. Yeah, I don't know how true that is. It's screenshots. So yeah,
Nikki Glazer. She's acting 100%. She's acting as his publicist. Publicists do this during interviews. People are out for blood. Somebody named Jenny B. Publicists act in a professional manner and don't storm off set delaying an interview. And I believe, and again, it's this guy Savage who just is kind of I follow him, so I don't want Savage to think I don't see his stuff, because I do, but he aggregates everything, right? It's almost like an aggregator. The Belichick family feels towards on the comments of Julian Edelman's IG video, which Nikki Glazer defended Jordan Hudson. Steve Belichick's wife Jen replies, "Publicists act in a professional manner." Don't storm. So now Steve Belichick's wife's in on this. The kids aren't behind this. I got some Bill Belichick odds today. Did you know that? Who sent these to me? was it Jimmy Shapiro of Bet Online, or wherever he's at now, PR News. Will Belichick be coaching UNC in 2026? Favored, yes. Will Belichick and Hudson break up in 2025? Plus 200, yes. What will happen first? Belichick, Hudson get engaged or no longer coach at UNC?
Almost feels like those could go hand in hand, Joe.
What will happen first? Hudson hired by UNC or Belichick, Hudson married?
I'm still of the belief. I'm not sure he's ever coaching a game for that school. I've been saying it for a week or two now, Joe. I'm sticking with it. I don't know if he ever coaches a game.
What will Hudson's next Instagram photo feature? Belichick in cutoff sleeves, in a suit, navel shown, or Belichick with a ripped shirt? There's odds on all of these. The favorite is cutoff sleeves. Will Belichick be on the New York Times bestsellers list? Yes or no?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah, you basically buy that.
What will Belichick do next? The favorite, get a tattoo. Dye hair blonde, mullet, earpiece.
I could see him dyeing the hair, maybe. That feels like, that he's in that world now. A little makeup, maybe. Maybe get him a new sweatshirt, one of the school he's actually, quote-unquote, coaching. Wonder how UNC feels. You don't think other coaches are working right now, or
Bill O'Brien again? I know they're not going to play each other this year, but how's Duke feeling about all this? Oh, I bet you they're ready.
Probably loving it.
They are loving it. Randy's in Connecticut. Hey, Randy.
Hey, what do you think of referring to the peer as pathetic check?
Ooh, I'll add it. Belladon, Jordachick, Budson, Bordon, pathetic chick. All right, guys. Well, I got the musings coming up next. And again, thank you, who won? At the final hour, and we're going to bring in Trent Marlowe. It's his last day. So we'll have him on the show as we wrap it up here, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
Celsius energy drinks.
Well, Red Sox and Blue Jays tied at 6 right now, top of the 10th inning, and bottom of the 10th inning, and the bases are loaded. So, I'll tell you what goes on in that one. Well, the Warriors made a fine try, but they're going to lose 123-106 right now is the score. Lakers T-Wolves about to tip off shortly. The Montreal Canadiens are over. Ole, ole, ole. 4-1, they lost tonight. Blues Jets tied at 1, and the Panthers have a 4-3 lead right now over the Lightning, looking to get rid of them. Maybe another coach becomes available. Cole Strange, that fifth-year option for being a first-round pick means nothing. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. A finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
In the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game. And listen to the words of a grown man.
You know what that means then. Tomorrow is... Boom, boom, boom.
It's gonna be May. It's gonna be May. It's gonna be May.
Be May. What did we do last year? Oh, we did May Watch. You know, other people were picking up on that one too, right? I mean, I know it wasn't like a genius idea or anything like that, but other people were doing May. Hey, it's Jim Montgomery. It's Monty. So I just watched Marchand, and now I'm watching Monty. This sucks.
Udoka's got a big lead right now.
Udoka's got a big lead. That's right.
I think the Warriors are just waiting to head back to Golden State.
They're waiting.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. So today I was like, you know what? I might just get like a. I heard Big Jim, actually, believe it or not, did this Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich ad on the radio. And it was like at Wendy's. And I was like, you know what? I might get a Wendy's sandwich on the way. I didn't want to have like a dinner. I just wanted a Sangy. But that wasn't where my first destination, though. So I crossed the street. We have a few options over there where we are in Waltham. There's a Five Guys, which I don't do before. I can't do Five Guys before a show. No. No, and it's not what Joe versus Five Guys versus a gorilla. No, okay. So I thought, all right, why don't we go to Chipotle? Maybe we can get a little gas. I got into it with a guy in the parking lot. So what happened was, have you ever been in that parking lot over there?
Yes, yeah.
It's tight.
Times. It's tight. Yeah, a lot of moving parts over there.
A lot of moving parts. So I'm waiting for someone to pull out. This guy behind me is beeping the horn to move. I said, I got my blinker on, bro. And he's like, come on, move your ass. And I go, bro, do you see my blinker on? Me yelling. Move your ass. I thought about opening the door. I didn't. I stayed in. I was very calm. And I said to myself, how bad do you need this burrito? I left. And I go, you know what? I just heard Jim talk about that spicy chicken sandwich. Why don't we go try the spicy chicken sandwich down at Wendy's? So, hop on down Main Street. A little bit of a line. A little crazy over there if you ever go down that way. Some guy, older fellow in a big yellow truck, is trying to order 3, like, what do you call the ice creams there? Frosties. But the communication was a little off. So the guy goes, second window, please. And he goes, no, I'm not done yet. And I go, oh, jeez. I go, this isn't working out for me today. And by the way, this is all a true story. So I'm like, oh, man, the Frosty guy's going to really screw it up for me now. So the guy just yells at him, second window, I told you, second window. And I go, do I want to order from this guy? Frosty guy's pissed now. He goes, I wasn't done. just like, I'm watching these guys. I'm now really considering this spicy chicken sandwich. So I pull up and I'm like nervous now. And I go, hey, can I get that spicy chicken sandwich with just cheese and no lettuce and all that stuff. We're out of the spicy chicken sandwich. I went. So now I'm up against it. I got a line behind me. Move your ass, that guy. I go, all right, dude. Just give me the son of the Baconator, please. Just ketchup. Nothing else on it, man. Just cheese, whatever. And can you give me a 6-piece nugget? So I get my burgers there. Burger there. Paid for it. At one window. Go up to the next window. Guy comes up to me and he goes, we have a problem. I go, what's the problem? We only have two regular nuggets and we only have spicy left over. I go, sure. Just give me the 4 spicy. They only gave me the 2 nuggets. I asked for barbecue sauce. I got not barbecue sauce. My burger was good. My sauce wasn't. After I ate, I go, I don't think I should have done this. Anyways, do you think I should have just not gotten the food after that? Like, was that a sign not to eat?
If that's me, I'm probably leaving. I don't know. It depends on how hungry I was, but I've tapped out for much less in a drive-through. I'm not there's more than like 3 cars. I'm moving on.
Do you know what the other problem was? Is you can't go left out of that drive-through. You have to go right and around again. So when I went to do the old Huey, a cop had someone pulled over, so we couldn't go that way. It was a real, like, I mean, I guess it's my fault, right? Trying to get something to eat at 6 o'clock on what's today? Wednesday? Let's take a call on during musings. Hey, Sean and Dedham.
Hey, Murray, I'm so glad you took the high road there. I honestly avoid food places because of how hard it is to park in there, and sometimes pulling in, pulling out, you get beeping from people, and there's just no cooperation on the road. There's no teamwork or nothing, and it just infuriates you. And I've missed out on some great places where people have told me to like show up and go to just for that reason alone.
So this happened to you today, or?
So there's a place over in Dedham. I don't know if you know it exactly, but it's a Rotary where Jersey Mike's is.
Oh, yeah, the old Dunkin' Donuts there. Yeah.
Yeah, the old Dunkin' Donuts, and there's a La Taqueria place, and it is a pain in the butt to park in. And I tried going in there today and pulling out during rush hour around like 5 o'clock. Just no one would let me out. I kind of force your way out like a bully.
I go to that Salem Deli over there. My buddy owns it. And that can also be a nuisance over there as well.
And you're sitting there and you want to get out of the car and be like, hey, like what's the problem? Like, it takes 2 seconds to let me out, but you can't.
And when it was a Dunks, it was just everybody was in and out. It was no problem at all.
It was a Dunks. There was less people driving around the Rotary at the time, too. And, I guess traffic piles up. It is what it is.
That what is it called? Chick-fil-A over there?
Oh, yes, that new Chick-fil-A. Yeah, the only one within the range of the whole entire area, the whole Norfolk area county.
That one's, they have people outside manually helping you. I like that.
One of the greatest places to go to. Actually, my plumbing company does work. I'm not going to put them on here because that's not fair, but we do a lot of work there.
Are you from Dedham?
Dedham, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm from.
We drive the red plumbing vans.
What is it called?
Vaughn Plumbing and Heating.
Vaughn Plumbing. Okay, I don't know if I know any Vaughn. That Veronica Vaughn. Do you know that area, Skaz? It's right next to High Pack.
Yeah, I used to have a buddy that lived over there in the apartments by the train tracks. So
really?
Over there a little bit, yeah. Right behind the, what is it, Legacy Place? Yeah, I used to live in those apartments.
Yeah, this is a mile down. But, yeah, that's the old hood over there.
Not a bad little spot over there.
Oh, I'd love to live in that little spot right there.
Great spot.
Oh, but they got the Lamberts down the street there. I can't drive by that place and not go in.
I mean, Joe, most famously, that's where we met.
Oh, that's right, Dedham.
That's where the Hooters is.
I met Skaz at the Hooters in Dedham.
Well, I was working, but not for Hooters.
Yeah. Do you know what they built across the street now?
I'm unaware.
Kelly's Roast Beef.
Kelly's. Grandy was almost crediting Kelly's for the Celtics comeback last night. Yeah.
And for every three-pointer they make, they do something that I've read the ad for once or twice. Have you ever had a drive-through mishap?
I'm trying to think if I've had one that sticks out, but I don't really ever hit the drive-through. If I do, it's usually leaving here, and there's no one there usually. So very, very few issues. But I'm not the biggest fast food consumer.
The guy who told me to move my ass, though,
out.
I should have just waited.
Put it in park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't have it in me today. What was it?
Yeah, you're in a good mood, Joe.
I am in a good mood.
You're feeling better.
Last night I was feeling much better. These allergies suck.
You and Josh last night were battling it out.
You see us both getting half sleeping. Half. Might have been the... actually, I told you last night. Oh, this is a great recommendation for everybody. Order before the place closes. You know why? They got to get rid of the rest of their food. So last night I go into the... his name was... it was at Steve's down the street. La Meal is his name. And he goes, take this pie with you. And I go, you just could give me the whole pizza? He goes, I'm closing. Gave a whole pizza, one slice taken, of course, not mine. I didn't eat it. But La Meal gave me a full pizza last night as they were closing. And he goes, can't wait to watch the Celtics. I go, that's where I'm going to go right now. And then Josh took the pizza home with him. Feeding families over here. Constantly on the show. Happy birthday to Willie Nelson. Is he My Name is Earl? Yeah. Oh, no, he's the guy that was on Roseanne, the young kid. Kirsten Dunst. 43, she's my age. She was the original. Speaking of duets, Josie Scott and Chad Kroger. I'll say that I hear. That wouldn't be a duet, but you know what? It's close enough. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst was the first. Diana Agron. Who's that? Ana de Armas. Today's Travis Scott's birthday. Of course, it's Travis Scott's birthday. Who was at WrestleMania?
Joe, did you say Isaiah Thomas?
I did not.
Isaiah Thomas' 64th birthday today.
That would be the Isaiah Thomas of the
Pistons.
Tough birthday day.
Big Ana de Armas fan, Joe. Big.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. You seen Knives Out?
I loved Knives Out.
Yeah.
I just watched the other one that just came out there.
The Glass Onion or whatever?
It was all right.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Wasn't bad. Any other birthdays for you?
Lloyd Banks, Joe, from G Unit.
That's right.
His birthday today. That's about all I got, though.
Matt and Kingston on duets. Hi, Matt.
Joe, I don't know if this counts as a duet, but Alice Mudgarden. I don't know if you heard Right Turn, the song Right Turn. It was Lane Staley, Chris Cornell.
Yeah, I know the song. It Ain't Right. Yeah.
And, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
and from Green River.
She's
Green
in that,
River.
She's in that song?
I'm sorry?
Wait. You're saying she's part of that song? Or she did that song?
Oh, no, I was just throwing out like I mean, it's not really a duet.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
not going to call that a duet.
So there's a couple. Well, the song Right Turn's great. It's Jerry, it's Lane, it's
Jerry Cantrell.
And then it's the dude from Mudhoney there. What's his name?
From Mudhoney, Green River, yeah. Yeah.
Wait.
Just figured you'd like that one.
I love that song. Wait, is that the guy who was in Mad Season? No, right?
Oh, Mad Season was...
I'm thinking of Mark Lanigan is who I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Mike McCready was in Mad Season.
No. Wasn't Mark Lanigan on that song, though? Mark Lanigan.
Oh, Mark Lanigan. Yeah, he was in that, too. Yeah.
See? Here we go.
Yeah.
I love
it was
that
like
song.
a variety pack of all the best guys from that time,
Yeah,
and I know you like that. And
Yeah,
I'm
can I
in
give
that-
you? Can I give you another one? Remember Family Values Tour? It was like Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that. There was one. I can't remember if it was Limp Bizkit's album, but it was Fred Durst, Scott Weiland.
Before he got all real bad, yeah.
And then Jonathan Davis. I got a reason and I won't let go.
Yeah.
That was a good little one too. There.
That's a good little combo pack, yeah. Just anyways, I just figured I'd throw that out there, though. I know you like that stuff, so and I do too. So,
all right, man.
But
Appreciate you.
have a good night, man.
All right. That's a good song if you've never heard it. It's called Wrong Turn, or is it Right Turn? I think it's Right Turn. It's acoustic. Jerry Cantrell. All right. Trent Marlowe, everybody. He's been our intern here. He's from Dean College. He plays soccer. It's his last night tonight. He's got takes, and we're going to let him hang out on his final show here as we're here until 11 o'clock, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe.
Sports Hub. The Red Sox lost. They stink. I don't know how else to say it. It was very disappointing. Trent Marlowe is our intern. When did you start, Trent? When were you here? What was your first day?
I think I started back in January, Joe.
January.
Yeah, so end of January.
So January, February, March, April, and tomorrow is May 1st. So you basically did 5 months.
Yeah.
Or completed 4 months.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a good run.
And you're from New Jersey, but you're a farmland New Jersey guy.
I mean, I guess so, yeah. I mean, my sister has 2 pet goats, so, I mean, that's
goats?
something. Oh, yeah, goats. You know, instead of dogs, we have goats. I don't know. It's not my jig.
Okay. You know who Trent looks like, Skaz, to me? I've said it to him before.
Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
John Stamos.
Yeah.
He's got a John Stamos look to him.
Not a bad guy to be compared
No,
to.
that's a heartthrob right
Certainly
there.
not.
Listen, I'm not hating on the take.
What's the wavy hair like on the pitch?
Oh, it moves around. Whole bunch. Oh, yeah.
You a headband guy or anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes. If it gets long enough, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, try not to.
Because you got a haircut recently.
Yeah.
It was a little longer, a little flowier.
Yeah. So, I'm doing all right now.
All right. And but you got injured.
Oh, yeah, back in August, yeah. So
Are you
missed
back
the whole
now?
season. Oh, not yet, no. I did a whole Stephon Diggs right now. Did the ACL surgery, all that.
Oh, you're ahead of schedule?
About on schedule, a little bit ahead.
So you go to Dean College, which is in Franklin, Massachusetts. How does someone from farmland Goat, New Jersey end up at Dean College?
I mean, hey, I wanted to play, college ball, and I wanted to, I'm a sports broadcasting major. I wanted to do this, Joe. I wanted to talk behind the mic.
So, okay, before we get to that, I'll say this about you. I know that you have a take. If I say, hey, Trent, what do you got for me? I know you got a take. So right then and there, you're golden for this job. But are you starting to realize, like, there's so much else that goes into this job besides talking on a microphone?
Oh, yeah. No, it's not that easy. I mean, think about it. Social media promotion, you got to read the ads. You got to know how to, edit audio. We were just doing that back there. You went on your whole rant, 2 hours ago? Fantastic stuff, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And so you get it, right? Like the way that I started, and again, what we do here, the way I started, I was an intern. I cut video. We used to get video. I used to DVD or whatever, VCR, and then plug in the VCR and just record, and then play it and run it into the system. So the way that I did things and the way you did is completely different. Oh, everyone's loving your hair.
Oh, yeah?
This is great.
Yeah. Changed it up, a month ago maybe?
Yeah. Now you can see the flow. But all right, so you get it now. You get that, the way that the landscape's changing in this business is, yeah, we're on every night, 7 to 11 o'clock, but, like, how many people are, can really tune in? Like, there's games, there's practices, there's events, there's things. So really the only way to get all that out there is through social media and YouTube. And so I'm glad that you helped out with a ton of that, with graphics and everything, but it's pretty easy if you learn all that, talking on the air is the easiest part.
Hey,
I know
hope
people
so.
don't get that, but it is.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
No, it really
That's
is.
the goal, right?
So you're an Eagles fan.
Oh, yeah. Go Birds.
They won the championship this year.
They sure did, Joe.
Where were you when they beat the Patriots years ago?
When they beat the Patriots, I was at my house. My mom threw a Super Bowl party.
Ooh.
I remember hating it, though, because I wanted to sit down and watch the game. And there's
You didn't want to party and other people around.
I wanted to focus. I was in the game. Yeah.
I'm like that, too.
Yeah.
On Sundays, I work all the Patriots games.
Yeah.
I'm here by myself in a room, taking notes, focusing on the game. Hate watching.
Killed me. I was, in middle school, I think. Yeah.
So that was Nick Foles.
Oh, yeah.
Where does he rank amongst great Philadelphia athletes for you?
Oh, I think there are some Philadelphians that would say, he's number one, but honestly, he's probably top 5, though. He did bring in the first Super Bowl.
He's got a cool nickname.
Oh, yeah. Just going to leave it at that, though, right?
I was just saying what you would do. Well, Well, let's do some Boston sports talk for a minute.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
The Red Sox tonight had a 6-0 lead. They got their first start from Lucas Giolito. And if you know a little bit about him, he had Tommy John surgery last year. Signed a $20 million deal. 2 years, $20 million.
Yeah.
So he's been down in the minors. They haven't wanted to bring him up yet for a bunch of reasons, contract-wise, and they had to make a roster move because they'll have to obviously move somebody. Tonight, he gives them 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned. He had the 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Now, he did give up 2 home runs, 90 pitches, but I think they left him in too long. This is his first appearance of the year. Like, what? Did he have to go 6 innings there? And I guess I got him out enough, but Garrett Whitlock comes in and blows it. Chapman, in a tie game, and then they blow it in the 10th inning. To be up 6-0 tonight and lose 7-6, horrible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't excuse that, regardless of who the pitcher was, whether or not you left him in too long. But I'm looking at the pitch count. It's 90 pitches. You got to think, his first major league outing of the season, that's probably too much. I mean, granted, I wasn't watching every single pitch, seeing, if his fastball, got a little bit slower throughout, the innings or whatnot. But just the fact that he was in for 90 pitches, and he made it, 6 innings is, you could probably pull him at 5.
Just as his first start, leave on a good note. Like, have him ready to go for the next start because you need him.
Yeah, I think that's the other question now. He just came back. So now does he need more time to rest than the rest of the pitchers in the rotation?
We'll see how that works out. I guess we should probably look at the schedule here, but they'll have to make a roster move because they put Bernardino on the bereavement list. But yeah, if you look at the schedule, they're going to play. Let's see here.
I think they got one more game with the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, and then they're back at home, which you're going to the game on Friday, from what I hear, for the first time, Fenway Park?
Yeah, first time going to Fenway Park. Been going to school up here for, it was my 3rd year, my junior year, so got to make a trip out before I graduate. Should be a good one. Sitting in, I think they call it the grandstands, Joe?
Yes, grandstands. I could tell you all about Fenway. Actually, the way that they set this up, they have an off day on Monday. He'll probably pitch on Tuesday. He'll get the extra day. So I guess if you think about it, that's probably why. I blame Cora for this one tonight. You left your guy out there a little longer. Whitlock comes in. Dude, if they don't hit, they don't win.
Well, not even that. I mean, they did their job pretty much every part of the ball. I mean, pitching was good, for the first 5 innings.
They got power. I mean, they had home runs. Their catcher gave him a home run. Bregman.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Bregman's been on fire, but you look at the pitching today, like 5 innings scoreless from your starting pitcher. I don't know what more a manager could want.
What do you think of Alex Cora?
I think he's solid, middle of the road, probably in the, high average of MLB managers. I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's definitely not bad. I would be fine with him on the Phillies, although I do like Rob Thompson.
I was going to say, would you rather Rob Thompson or Alex Cora?
I mean, Rob Thompson has brought us to the World Series.
Us?
Well, not us, but Philadelphia, the city. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember we had a guy earlier tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any of those back there, Skaz, from earlier? Because I believe that you cut all these sounds, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I caught that one, but he was saying we. He
was saying we a lot, as in the Celtics.
Yeah, so obviously he is
us,
there.
You mean as people of Philadelphia?
Yes, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story of Bryce Harper was thinking about signing with the White Sox?
I did see that. I saw the text messages, and then the owner didn't show up, right? The White Sox owner just didn't show up.
How's that happen?
I don't know, but Joe, I'll tell you this. When the Phillies signed Harper, I bought a Bryce Harper jersey within the next week.
Would John S. Middleton, would he miss?
Oh, for Bryce Harper, definitely not at that time. And now we're paying the luxury tax. Everything's going great in Philadelphia until, we also can't pitch.
Do you think Dave Dombrowski's good?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Because I thought he was great in Boston. You want a big market general manager?
Yeah.
He is a big market general manager.
I'd say he's good. I mean, my issue is that I feel like the Phillies championship window is closing, or it's already closed. We have the same team, basically. Same aces.
The division's harder, right?
Yeah,
Atlanta's...
I mean, the
Division's
playoff
tough.
runs we've had the last 3-4 years, the fact that the Phillies couldn't get it done then is frustrating.
So you're a frustrated Philadelphia fan.
Oh, yeah.
But isn't everyone in Philadelphia? Like, you guys booed Santa Claus.
Well, I mean, you're going back decades now. Joe.
Yeah, but that's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's give and take.
I'm just a guy from afar. Did you go to WrestleMania last year in Philadelphia?
No.
Would you have gone to WrestleMania?
Maybe. I don't know. Ticket prices,
So you're going to Fenway Park, huh, on Friday?
Oh, yeah, no, I can't wait. And
Have you got like an itinerary? You got anything? Nothing? You just you're raw dogging it?
yeah, pretty much. Just showing up. You know, we got the tickets, going to walk in and see what goes from there.
First base side?
Yep.
So you're going to be near the monster.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. You know, I'm going to walk around and
Do you know how tall the monster is?
I could not tell you, no.
27 feet high. Yep. There's a guy who lives. How tall? What does it say on there?
It's 37.
37
feet, I believe.
37. My fault.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Someone will tweet at you or something.
You Googled that, though?
Yes, 37 feet.
Why did I think it was 27? Maybe Carlton Fisk was 27?
Someone's going to call up and tell you.
They do it anyways. Joe, you're from here. How do you do that? You suck.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care. You know someone lives in the wall?
I was aware, yeah.
His name's Wally.
Yeah.
Do you know that you can go in the wall?
I'm pretty sure part of the plan. See what I'm up to. Maybe I'll call in Friday night. I'll give you an update.
I would. That'd be cool.
If we get out in time, I'll give you an update. My first Fenway experience.
Yeah. You got to get a Fenway Frank.
I'm looking forward. Listen. You can't go to the ballpark without getting a hot dog.
Mm-hmm. Fenway Franks, and then some street meat on the way out.
All right. Yeah.
That's like street sausage.
See what I can do. All right.
Oh, the sausage guy. I would suggest cask and flagon. Well, I don't know if I should be telling my interns where to imbibe and other recreational things, but it's a great little mall right there. If you know.
Okay.
So I know the area very well. Are you a draft guy?
You mean NFL draft?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. Love the draft. I think the draft is more entertaining than the NBA playoffs. But I mean, that's a take. Got more viewers.
All right, dude. Well, let's take a break. We have more with Trent Marlowe. It's his last night. He plays soccer at Dean College. I only know soccer because I bet on it.
It's a tough sport to bet on.
And Yamal?
Yeah.
Is like the greatest player in the world.
Well, I mean, let's slow down, but he's the greatest 17-year-old in the world for sure.
His cards are worth a lot of money.
That's what matters, doesn't it?
No, I got a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. It's going to go up.
No
too.
autographs or anything yet, but,
Give it some time.
If I get one, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to keep it.
For a while, yeah.
And I'm trying to get rid of my Messies now.
Yeah, but he still got value.
Every time I go to a card show, they go, "You got Messi cards?" I say, "Right here." And then they try to negotiate with me, and I say, "Hey, listen, I don't know anything. Just that's the price. Do you want them?" Then they look at them and stare at them and do price comps, and then I'm just like, "Do you want the cards or not?" You a card guy?
Not since like grade school here, Joe. I mean, I remember I used to trade football cards when I was younger, and I always just traded for the players I liked. So I have like a bunch of like AJ Hawk cards now, worth absolutely.
AJ Hawk?
Yeah,
like the guy on Pat McAfee's show.
Yeah.
The guy who just stares blankly into the camera?
Not the football player, AJ Hawk. The guy that's on Pat McAfee. I know that we're talking about the same guy.
Yeah,
but
same guy. Yeah.
For you, though, did you even know he played?
Yeah, Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Ohio State. All right, more with Trent. We'll do that next after the headlines here on that. Do you want to do a headline?
Sure.
Do you know what happened tonight? I mean, I'm throwing this at you right now.
I mean, I'll take it on, yeah.
Do you know what happened?
I mean, Red Sox.
I mean, I'm literally going to kick it over to you.
Let's do it.
Should I do this to him, Skaz? I don't know, man. He's a confident kid, huh?
We'll give him a 40-second buffer here of Joe and a caller earlier tonight.
All right, we'll get that ready.
All right.
We'll hear the caller, and then we'll go right to you for the headlines.
Cool.
You're the guy calling in saying that Tatum got pushed around, which is the worst take I've heard today. Maybe even yesterday, too. Who are you?
He's Abe.
Abe.
I think they got to be more dominant.
Abe, well, what dominance do you need? What more dominant do you need besides?
I don't want to be losing at halftime to the
listen to me.
Magic.
Listen to me. No, shut up for a second. oil change at Valvoline Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. What do you think of Drake May?
Drake May, you ready for this? I think Patriots fan base way too high on Drake May. Because, listen, I hear Patriots fans talk, and nothing wrong with it. They just assume he's going to be good. I think he has, shown that he's trending in the right direction, can be good. But he's going into his second year. We have 1 year where he didn't play every single game. He had an injury, right? Like, how do we know that he's just going to be the answer? Mac Jones was good his first year. People thought he was going to be, the guy. Look at where Mac Jones is now. I'm not saying I think that Drake May is Mac Jones by any stretch of the imagination. But what I do think is that Patriots fans, or the fan base, thinks that Drake May is just an automatic talent. He's automatically going to be that franchise quarterback. I'm not sold on that yet.
He was only won one game.
Yeah.
Can he stay healthy?
Well, I mean, that's why you go draft Will Campbell, which is another story in itself.
What do you think of that?
Not a huge fan.
I know you wrote an article about it, but I mean, you watch a guy with the Eagles who was a number 4 overall pick. How's he?
Great.
Lane Johnson.
But I mean, he was actually the third tackle off the board that draft.
Who else was in that draft?
I believe it was
Ferguson.
No, it would be Fisher.
Oh yeah, number 1 overall to the Chiefs. Yep.
Fisher to the Chiefs, and then I think there was one more who went to the Jaguars. Blanking on his name right now.
Jokel?
Might have been.
Luke Jokel? Trying to remember back then. You got that? Yeah, see, thumbs up.
Eric Fisher went 1, Jokel went 2, Deion Jordan, defensive end, went 3 to the Dolphins.
Fail. So basically, the Eagles got the best player in that draft.
Yeah, they kind of lucked into him.
Or the best top 5 pick or 4 pick.
You could argue he's the best player in the draft too. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins was a late first round pick. Zach Ertz is in that draft. Darius Slay, Le'Veon Bell, who was an incredible player for a stretch, but
Lane
he's a Hall of Famer. Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce was a third round pick.
Was third round, but still,
he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Okay. So of the first 3 rounds, he's the best player. And he was a tackle who went third tackle.
Yeah, but he's a right tackle. Remember that. That's why he went third out of the 3 tackles.
I mean, if Will Campbell's Lane Johnson, I'm more than okay with it.
Well, even better, he could be, Trent Williams. Trent Williams is a left tackle that was drafted 4th overall.
What if he's Eric Fisher?
Not great.
Really?
I mean, good, but not great.
But is that comparable, though? Like, the Chiefs needed a tackle.
Yeah, it's comparable.
He was the best tackle at the time.
2-time Pro Bowler, but Super Bowl champ. But that's more about Mahomes, obviously.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if it was...
No.
People would be upset here. Here, the expectations, they'd be upset. Jokel was a star at Texas. What, Texas A&M? I can't even remember now.
Would you like Eric Fisher's arm length?
Please.
34.5.
So he's got about an inch on Campbell, if not more.
You say fans. I think the media is also pro Drake May.
Yeah, and listen, I understand it. He looks like he can be really good, and I think he probably will be, but it's not a definite. And I also want to touch on this, Will Campbell pick while we're on it. I like the pick not for the player, but for the message it sends, that they're willing to invest in Drake May, and they're willing to, they want to protect him, want to keep him safe.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. And that's why I like the Travion Henderson move. I know it's a second. I know it's a running back, but I'm looking at it as a skill player.
I also think he's a first-round pick in other drafts where Genty and the UNC running back aren't there.
Oh, Marion Thompson's huge. Is that right? The kid from North Carolina.
Yep.
What is it? Marion Thompson?
Hampton.
Why did I think Thompson? That guy's humongous. Do the Eagles repeat?
I hope so. Listen, I mean, they lost some defensive pieces, but I think they got a steal in the draft with Jahad Campbell.
Definitely. They trade up for him?
Yeah, one pick. They gave up one of their fifths. They had 5 fifths
with
going
the Chiefs,
in the draft.
Right?
Yeah, they gave it to the Chiefs. Yeah.
Imagine that, making a trade with the team you lost the Super Bowl.
So, I mean, they might do it again.
I mean, the Bills and Chiefs did that all the time, too. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Xavier Worthy.
That's right. Trying to get another. Do the Celtics repeat?
Oh, this is tough. Now, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I think I would have said yes.
What changed?
I think the Cavs look better than I thought they look, and I also think the Thunder look better than I thought they were going to look.
See, I'm not worried about the Thunder right now. I'm not even worried about the Western Conference.
No, that's completely fair. It's too far away. But that's what makes me hesitate in saying yes right now.
The lack of rebounding concerns me. Like, Mobley and just they've had advantages against it, and Porzingis didn't look right. And I was claiming he's the second best player that they've had, better than Brown. He was.
I would agree with you there, but
it's changed. It's the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I would say Jalen was easily their second best player in this series.
Easily. Oh yeah.
And was Porzingis their third? Yeah.
Al
Horford was probably more consistent.
Derek White had a 30-point game.
Derek White was really good.
So, that's the Celtics. So that's why they're so good.
Exactly, and that moves him down. Yeah. That makes him different. You're right. It makes him different.
Are we also reading too much into how good defensively the Magic are? Because the Magic tried to play this game where they want to, slow it down, play defense. It was going to be a weird series, and that's basically what it was. It felt like the Celtics were struggling, but yet clearly the better team. Like the Magic were trying to bring the Celtics down to their level, and it didn't work. It never really was going to work, but that was their best chance at winning.
All right, dude. Well, final minute of the show. What do you want to say?
It's been a good run, Joe. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
And where can everybody find you?
I'm on Twitter at Trent J. Marlowe, and keep it around there. I post a bunch of stuff, work I do there, and yeah.
All right, bro. Well, enjoy Fenway.